What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, and boy, we got a lot to get into. Sierra said I looked tired this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
I did ask her. I was like, was that an intrusive thought? Like, did you mean to say that?
She's like, hi.
Intrusive
And then she
thought.
goes, you look tired. And I was like, well, fuck me.
It was actually way worse than that because I
Yikes.
started talking about my weekend and then he just like looked up but like looked a little tired and I was just like, I'm not used to it. So it jarred me and I was like,
It's very early right now.
you look really
Yeah.
tired. And I was
Not
like, oh my
that
God,
early,
that's
Justin.
not nice.
Most people are not up by now.
It's the
It's
same
8
time
o'clock.
as it always is when we record.
But most people are not up by 8 o'clock.
Who are most people?
Most Americans that I
Wait.
talked to outside of
That-
this
yeah.
chat.
I don't know about that.
Well, we do. I mean, Nick gets up early with River. She wakes up. She starts yapping in her crib at like 5 a.m.
Thank you, Nana.
Thank you, Nana. And we listen to it, and
She plays by herself in the crib now, and you can hear her talk to herself.
Does she
It's
sleep
quite
with
cute.
toys or is it like a mobile?
I like to put a new stuffed animal in her crib every night. So when she wakes up, it's like a surprise. There's a different stuffed animal. in there.
So she's in the stuffed animal phase. Does
We're
she have a favorite?
entering. We're entering it. She does have a favorite, and it's so funny because
Is it the
It
avocado
is-
one?
no, she does not love the avocado one.
She's not an LA girly.
No.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
God.
She's not,
get
but
there.
she does love this giraffe that I got her in Nashville. And I was like, River, do you want this? And she paid zero attention to it. And my sister was like, she does want it. And so
Now she loves
actually,
it.
my sister bought it, not me. But Amanda got her the stuffed animal and she could not care less about this giraffe at all. Hated it, would not look at it, would not play with it. And now obsessed.
Giraffes are an easy to find like kid subject, if that makes sense. Like, because when I was a little kid, I loved dinosaurs and you could not find it anywhere. But giraffes you can find everywhere. So that's a good thing.
Really?
Now
I feel
you
like
can-
it's the complete
No,
opposite.
now you can find dinosaurs, but back then you couldn't,
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting.
from my experience, anyways.
From my experience. Okay, interesting. Didn't know. So I'm so sorry you went through that.
Thank you. But giraffes are easy to find. Like any zoo, giraffe teddy bear. No?
Perfect.
Yes.
So,
Maybe.
do I look tired?
I
I don't think so.
I don't think you look tired.
You've woken
have
up
you?
since.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sarah's like, after I put that concealer under your eyes, you look great.
A little hyaluronic acid. You're good to go.
Yeah, no, like Sierra did a whole makeup routine after she showed me.
Some eyeliner.
You're welcome.
Well, we did have a crazy Saturday night because we took Joan's advice and we are now doing Saturday night date nights
Cute.
every Saturday night.
We're 2 for 2.
regardless. We are 2 for 2.
Who made the reservation?
Well, cute story.
Cute story. Cute story.
Because last week we were like, let's do this. And then Natalie and I are not good planners. Neither of us. You know, usually you want to like marry someone who's like, the things you're not good at, they are, and vice versa.
Okay.
And we've gotten pretty lucky with some of that stuff. But when it comes to planning, Natalie and I, neither of us big planners. Anyways, so last week we're like, it was like Saturday at 5. We're like, we should do this. And then we're like, oh, where do we go? And then we, didn't really have reservations. And we still had a great night. But
We stood around for like maybe close to 2 hours
Yeah. anyways.
at the bar, but we
Yeah.
were drinking.
Oh, so you just rolled up.
We just
Okay.
rolled up.
We rolled up.
We rolled up.
And we're
Sounds
like,
like
what's
fashion.
the wait like
Sometimes-
for 2? They're like, that's
So-
going to be 2 hours.
Wait, where did you go? Where's
South Beverly Grill.
Oh, maybe you
It's in
said
Beverly
that.
Hills.
Okay,
Name 'em.
got it.
Anyways, so this week, now it was like, we have to start taking turns
Planning.
planning.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
It's a
But
surprise
we
every
did
other-
not designate which person's turn it was.
Ah.
And so I got done with work and I said, we have an 8:30 reservation. And she goes, I got us a 9 o'clock reservation.
Oh, you both got
We
reservations.
both
We both
did
got
it.
reservations.
We both took the initiative.
That's-
Ah.
And so I canceled the 9 o'clock. So that's way too late to eat dinner.
Yeah.
But my favorite trick is you still make a reservation no matter what time it is. And then you go to the restaurant
Show up early.
and you're like, we have a reservation at 9, but like we just, got here a little early. So can you squeeze
I have
us
to get
in?"
back to my child. She's sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, back in my hostess days, I would have set you.
Would you?
I would have, yes.
Do you skip lines ever?
What do you mean skip lines?
Have you ever, do you skip lines?
Do I skip lines?
Define skip lines.
Like at a park?
Or
What
to
line
board,
at a park?
to board a plane?
Like a
'Cause-
theme park.
Oh, okay.
Like as a mother, you're saying.
No, just as a human
This
being.
just came out of nowhere, this question of
Yeah.
like skipping. Because we were
Well, I
talking
saw
about.
this. Not even we didn't even we didn't even have this in household headlines. But apparently, the airlines are testing a new system to sound an alarm if you board before your designated group.
I thought they do that already.
No.
No,
I love that.
No,
They
they
scare
don't.
you into
yeah,
it.
I
No,
agree
they
with
scare
Leia.
you.
I love that.
No,
I do too.
Southwest will
that.
do this. Southwest does it. If you try to go up early, they'll be like, no, it's not your turn. And you have to wait till the next cycle.
Yeah, they were like, you are paying $25 for early bird check-in,
Yeah.
or we will kill you. Yeah.
It's honestly one of my
There's
bigger
nothing
pet
that makes me
peeves.
happier than somebody getting caught doing something wrong.
Why? Why? I mean,
God,
that's
Karen.
fine, but like, listen,
It's the Karen in you.
we are guy priority. I'm just saying, like, this is an elitist rule.
I don't think
Well-
so. It's one of the most irritating
Oh,
things when
really?
you're trying to get on the plane and then everybody gets
Yeah.
up and is just
Yeah,
standing
I
in
hear
front
ya.
of
Well,
the
it's
line.
because in an
Right.
airport, everybody acts as if their brain has magically exited their body.
They
it's,
do.
it's a
Do
lawless
you stand
land
up?
at
Do
the
you,
airport.
when who here stands up as soon?
Absolutely not.
No, I am sitting my
I'm
ass
sitting
down
up till the
until
last
it is
second.
my
Wait a
turn to get
second.
up.
Wait a second.
I'm not dumb.
Wait a second.
Most people,
Wait a second. If you are on the aisle,
Yeah.
you immediately get the fuck up. Immediately stand up because we've been sitting for forever. I need space. You've got to get up. You have to get away from
Oh
me.
wait, what are we
you're saying
talking
when the
about?
plane
when the
lands.
plane lands.
I'm talking about
Are we
in
talking
like
about
before we get
boarding or-
off.
Yeah.
no,
Taking
the
off.
plane lands.
Yes,
Yeah.
the plane lands.
And and then
Oh,
we get to the
different.
gate.
Oh, I'm up.
You
Thank
guys
you.
are
You stand up
unhinged.
for no
I'm
reason,
sorry.
and
I
you do this.
stand
You
up-
do this. For
Yes,
40
I'm
minutes?
standing.
No. Yeah, you
I
can't.
sit- well,
if you're window
no.
or
Okay.
middle, you can't stand.
Here's what I do. I typically fly the cheapest possible option possible. And usually that means I am in the back of the plane,
Mhm.
and sometimes I'll be in the middle, sometimes,
Sure.
who's
Who's to say?
let go and let go,
Yeah.
And so what happens is that everybody is standing up, I'm sitting there chilling, but there is an event where if I'm in the aisle, I can scoot out.
Exactly.
And if I can scoot out, I'll scoot out and then just let it go. But in general, no, I'm sitting. And people get really intense, and it's like, what can you do? You are truly in a place where you have no power
That's the
whatsoever.
thing.
Just let that wash over you.
People that
Okay.
people that stand are creating the stress in the plane.
Yeah.
Because you guys are like being like, we need to go, we
And
need
then
to
they
go, let
take
me stand. It's like,
20
take a second.
minutes to get their stupid carry-on bag into the
Oh my
aisle.
God.
And I'm like, you need to have an exit strategy. If you don't go out of a plane with an exit strategy, you're dead to me.
but we've been sitting for 5 hours.
You know those
I love
people
this question.
whose luggage is like not where they sat too, and they just cause mayhem on
Yeah.
the airplane.
They force their way through just to get back.
Well,
No,
kind of. I
see.
mean, like, but like, there's no, the flow always goes forward. And if you got stuck, if like the flight attendant like just took your bag and threw it 20 like rows back, you're kind of panicked. When
But
it
isn't that
lands.
your fault for coming
You
late?
just have to wait for everybody else to get off the plane, and then you
No,
go
listen, I
back and
kinda
get your
love this
bag like a
victim
normal
blaming that's
person.
going on
if you
here
came
for the
early,
airlines.
your thing would be above your head, right?
We're all inherently victims on a plane,
No, I know. That's what I'm
That's
saying. I
true.
think it's great. I'm just saying, like,
unless you're in first class.
Also, one of the smarter things that I've seen somebody do is while they were going through the front of the plane, they're like, "Hey, can I put my bag on the like just putting the bag up towards the front of the plane as you go backwards, and then when you're coming off the plane,
Oh, that's
grab your
smart.
bag
No.
as you're leaving."
That's a ripple effect for a disaster.
Why?
Because then everybody in the front doesn't have a spot.
That's not true. Everybody's already seated in the front, so whatever's open in
Oh,
the
if you're at
overhead
the end,
compartment
yeah.
is available.
but the rules of an airline or just air travel in general is definitely like an elitist thing to do.
100%.
It's like an elitist class.
I think it causes the biggest arguments
Yeah.
I think it's honestly worse than politics.
It's
You just get
it's-
people going about what
yeah.
they do on airplanes, and
You
people get riled up.
It's like the Titanic. You know, all the rich people, like an early exit, your early entrance, they get catered. You ever fly to Delta One in LA? It is. You are like you're dealing like you're treated like the king and queen, and then
No.
like all
No,
the
I've never
normies are just
flown
like
Delta
hurting.
One in LA.
Never.
Well, someday
I'm
you will,
flying
Mary.
Spirit.
Someday you will.
Delta One has its own entrance.
Yeah.
I'm flying Spirit
That you don't have to go
yoga
through
on the
normal
airplane.
security.
its
Is
own
this normal
TSA.
Delta?
And I'm just saying, I think it's hilarious for all the and when they start like the alarms going off for the people who just want to get on a little bit early, so their bags aren't thrown in the back, and like and everyone wants to shame them. I think it's kind of.
I am doing Delta for the first time in 2 weeks for Thanksgiving, thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
Because you guys
we're
talk
love
about it a lot.
Delta.
You love
Yeah,
Delta.
we love Delta. Yeah.
I made it sound like you're paying for it.
I
but-
have
Well.
gone Delta now that
We do pay for our flights.
I realized that I wasn't like saving that much money by flying Southwest to Florida. So now I've started because I have to do connecting flights in Southwest, but I can get a direct flight through Delta.
Delta,
and
you
that's
can choose
changed
your
my
seat.
life.
I found that out because
Yeah.
Southwest, it's a free for all. Like
Yeah.
that.
I
creates
just
stress.
like the 2 free
Southwest
bags.
is the only airline that does that.
Free is
Yeah.
expensive. Free is expensive.
We could argue about this for hours.
Well, I know. Well, later this episode, we got the hilarious Ego Nwodim from SNL. Can't wait to talk with her.
Yes.
All right, now it's time for Vibes versus Stats. But before we get to our scores, you got to remember that this Vibes or Stats segment of the Viall Files is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios, no shells, flavors come in a variety of flavors, including chili roasted, honey roasted, sea salt and vinegar, smoky barbecue, sea salt and pepper, jalapeno lime, and the newest seasonal limited time edition sweet cinnamon. With a wide range of flavors, there's a Wonderful Pistachios product for every taste bud and occasion, for your game time gatherings or for taking them on the go. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Thank you, Wonderful Pistachios, for sponsoring this segment of the Viall Files. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Yeah, so Mary, how'd we do?
You know, we actually both did all right.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. Yeah. Game 1, Eagles at Cowboys. We have the Eagles won.
We picked the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We did pick the Cowboys.
Vibes
Someone
did
Dallas.
pick the Cowboys.
Someone did DM me and they're like, you have to stop picking the Cowboys. Like, you'll pick them every time and you
It's
have
the
to stop.
dancers.
It's almost
I
as if
stand
I
the
have been trying
dancers.
to manipulate everybody into hating the Cowboys as much as me this entire time.
Is that
and no
you
one's
that
been
DM me?
listening. I
Is
have
that your
burners.
Penta?
I have burners. Yeah,
does
so
Gina.
we lost that in Vibes.
I
Eagles
told you
did
guys.
demolish the Cowboys like 34-6. Yeah.
Brutal.
But we won the other one.
We did. The Vikings did beat the Jaguars. So it's 1-1.
Okay.
Vibes is currently
we
at
don't need to say it.
7-13.
Thank you.
I think we need
All
to
right.
hear it.
Yeah.
And
need to be
knowledge
humbled.
is 11-8.
7-13. That's
know?
not too bad.
You know, speaking of vibes, though, we
Yeah.
give a shout out for this weekend's super vibe hero, Ricky Pearsall. I believe I'm saying his name correctly. I apologize, Ricky, if I'm not. Do you know who Ricky Pearsall is? Ricky is a rookie for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, Rook.
Yeah. And like 3 weeks before the season started, I don't know, maybe like a week, somewhere before the season started, Ricky was walking the streets of San Francisco and encountered a crime. He intervened in said crime and was shot twice
What?
Whoa.
The rookie was?
through the chest.
In the heart?
No,
He's still alive.
he
Okay.
survived and he scored his first touchdown over the weekend.
That's
No
so
getting
way.
shot.
Motherfucker came back. He's a hero.
Wait,
We should get Ricky on the show.
Yeah.
he got shot and then still...
Twice. I believe twice. Definitely once. Yes. Yeah, look it up. It's
Like-
crazy.
If I got shot, I'd take the ear off.
Right?
Good for
You're
him.
like,
He
listen,
literally
I got
Good for
that.
him.
he's a literal hero, got shot, recovered, and is now back scoring touchdowns
was-
for the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow.
He was shot through the chest and
Through the chest
and
Man.
shot in the arm.
and the arm twice.
Man, that's tough.
Do you think
He's got that dog in him.
Do you think the arm he used to make the touchdown was the shot arm?
I don't know. But
That's some next level
that's
human.
Yeah.
that's some next level
Subhuman.
vibes.
Ricky,
let's,
don't lose that number.
Let's give it. Yeah, there we go.
Do we get into some household headlines?
Yes, please.
What's going on in the news?
Did you see Raygun is not retiring?
Who?
Raygun, the
Who?
Australian breakdancer?
Australian breakdancer Raygun, who scammed her way into the Olympics.
Because last week it was a
Who's
headline.
also who never was breakdancing,
Well, she was.
but now she's not breakdancing.
Well, she said she's going to still do community jams. I'm still going to get down. But in terms of
Thank
those
God.
elite competitions and the Olympics, which, by the way, breaking's not even in the Olympics, I don't
Not
really
anymore.
see.
Because of her.
I don't really
Well-
see myself competing. It's not me that's retiring. It's Ray Hadley.
And for context, last week we talked about this on Pop, but last week there was a headline of Raygun's retiring. And the whole bit has been she's got breakdancing removed from the Olympics.
That's not a bit. It's true.
It's facts.
That's what happened.
She gave it a lot of publicity.
She also made it kind of laughable,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I feel like that's like one thing you don't want to do to an
For-
Olympic sport is
Yeah.
like make a mockery of it.
And there's like all these videos of Australian kids like being awesome at breakdancing who will never be able to pursue their dream because Raygun thought of Raygun.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg also
Yes.
announced she has plans to launch an all-women sports network.
All right, pop off.
Whoopee! Thank you, Mama.
I need a Sister Act 3 before this happens.
Again,
That's my
Sister
take.
Act 3 will be held on the court. The
So-
nuns are playing basketball.
I want a team of just nuns.
That I would
The
watch. I
WNBA
would
could do
watch
it. They're that powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would
Yeah.
raise a lot of money.
Sister Act 1 or 2, which one's better?
Who is your
Mm.
favorite sister growing up?
I grew up around a lot of nuns.
I know. Who's your favorite?
Sister Teresa.
Really?
Or Monica. I don't know. There was a Sister Monica. I
Where-
grew up on. I
Are you
can't
making
remember.
names up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I don't remember their names.
Sister Act 1 is a
There
classic.
should be a housewives with nuns.
They could never, though.
I know.
Secret Lies of Nun White.
Mhm. Well, it's
Yeah.
That would
like
be
like
messy.
nuns
They
who
can't
have,
married,
Secret
right?
Lives of Sister Nuns.
I mean, they made
Sister
the Sound
Nuns.
of Music. So
Have you seen it? Who hasn't seen The Sound of Music?
I've seen Sound of Music. Edelweiss?
seen Sound of
We've all-
Music.
Hills Are Alive.
13 going on 30?
Yeah.
Kind of like a rite of
16
passage.
going on 17.
16 going on 30.
Yeah.
That one.
Gotta watch
Yeah.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Sister Act 2.
Gwyneth Paltrow, transitioning us here, needs to watch Sister Act because so she had her like intermittent fasting diet that like took the world of like bone broth and apples or whatever it was.
Yes. That's her daughter's name.
Bone broth?
Apple.
Bone broth would be such a beautiful
Honestly,
name for a
could've
baby
been,
girl.
You know,
Could've
I was like, which one?
Could have been either one with Gwyneth Paltrow.
The
Right.
thing is, she's making headlines now because she was seen in New York City chowing down on a steak and ice cream.
Hop
Good for
off.
her.
Off of she like took the world being like, only eat this.
well, but wasn't it was like, it was a diet. Diets are meant to be broken, It was a
yeah.
intermittent fasting.
But wouldn't you think your body can't handle, this is my own brain. She's eating nothing and she's going to eating a steak.
She might have a little bit of a tummy ache.
It's
Yeah.
a Wagyu French dip sandwich.
Ooh.
Classic
Ooh.
sea salt fries and a Samoa sundae. I mean, it sounds
Yum.
fantastic.
Do you
But,
think
like-
Gwyneth Paltrow would go to Cantor's with me?
What's
What is
Cantor's?
Oh my God.
Deli?
Cantor's? Deli?
What?
Wait, we tried Cantor's on the way back from Coachella when we shot.
Sorry.
No,
What
we
is-
didn't.
No, we didn't.
Oh. Wait, what's
I don't know what Cantor's
Cantor's
is.
I don't know
down
Cantor's
on
in.
Fairfax.
Oh my God.
It's like
There's
a-
a place on Fairfax. It's delicious. It's an old school diner. You got to try it.
This is the one
great.
across the street from John and Vinny's?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. It's by the complex.
That's here.
Place, which is
it good?
devastating.
Or is it just famous?
around
Is it more good than
forever.
famous?
It's a vibe.
I love it. I
and
had
It's a
still
place
good.
you got to
Do
go.
they have breakfast?
yes.
'Cause the
I
diner
went.
with
I was there on
breakfast-
Friday. Matzo ball soup is delicious there. I got the pastrami dip. I had a
Okay.
great time.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I do want to smell Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina candle.
What do you think it smells
Justin.
like?
Well, her vagina is what it's supposed to smell like.
Hers,
Yeah.
personally?
The whole thing was it was her vagina.
Wow.
Like what? I don't know. My
I
own
mean-
curiosity. And it was exploding and that's why like people stopped buying it. But
It's exploding?
you didn't know this? It's a
Literally-
while
I've never
ago.
heard
Literally
anything
popped
about
that
it.
pussy.
Fires.
Yeah.
She was literally popping her
She
pussy.
said that pussy fire.
That's crazy. Honestly, what do you want for Christmas? Like my own vagina candle?
Sure. Yeah.
Be a little bit more enthusiastic.
Oh my God.
He
Yes.
sounds like he
Yeah.
hated that.
Do I
He
though?
was like, of your vagina? No, I was hoping Gwyneth's. I want nothing to do with
Curious.
yours.
Could I win with that reaction?
Could you win
Like,
in any reaction?
Yeah. Oh my
That is
God.
true.
That's all I've ever wanted. I'm like, oh, you're gross.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
Just tried.
Maybe.
Is that would we light your vagina candle like after date night?
I think we'd like probably light
Okay,
it.
what's the
just,
occasion?
Like, I feel like it's like an all around, like you're having coffee, like light
Like
it up.
Christmas apple cider with
Dinner
vagina.
party.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it obviously depends on what scent we're going with.
Right.
Like, and when your
You
mom's
know,
in
is
town.
it how balanced is my pH?
Yeah.
Which time of
Is
the month?
she
Which
balanced, or
There's
is
like a
she- or
slight
is she off
irony. There's like an
What if
iron
it's a candle
here.
that like changes scents throughout the
I
month?
have no response.
There's just like a layer of like red, and then you're like,
you
where did
light
all
it,
that-
you're like, whew, it's time.
Okay, wait. Also on like a weird scenario. So the official Mattel Wicked dolls, have you seen this?
No.
So they had like,
You're not
and this is
gonna
like
want
the
to.
Barbie doll versions of Glinda and Elphaba. They released the dolls, and on the packaging it says, visit www.wicked.com. When you visit wicked.com, it takes you to a porn site. And these are kids' toys.
And the actual website is wickedmovie.com.
But on the packaging, it doesn't
How do you
say
fuck that up? I don't know. I
Oh,
feel like that's not.
no.
I feel like that's not.
A big mistake.
How many fucking decision makers? You know what? One thing I know about corporate America, they have a lot of meetings, and often they have more meetings than they even need. And there's usually like several approval steps.
Right.
That ever like. So how does something like this get by without it being intentional?
Well, don't they usually
They
say
couldn't get the
less
domain.
Don't they say less people like actually approve it than you think do?
Maybe so.
Like we think it's 5, but it's actually 2 or whatever.
I don't know.
But still, nobody thought to type
no
that
one
in.
looked,
Or maybe someone did.
or maybe someone did.
This happens pretty often where kid toys are like
Protect.
like
our
there was that
children.
one kid toy like 2 years ago where it was like moaning and like saying sexual stuff.
Mm.
Like now we have
Ooh.
this.
Yeah.
It is interesting for these dolls though, because it's like you would think they would have just scrapped all of the dolls or just bought the domain so that you couldn't like go to a porn
Yeah,
site.
you'd think so.
And they haven't done anything?
No, I looked it up last night. I was like, let me see for myself.
Kids are still.
How was the rest of your
they-
night?
I
Yeah,
just
was
did a
it like
scroll. I didn't
good?
watch
Was it a
anything.
good site?
It wasn't my kind of content.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay.
It's woman on woman.
Oh, that's my
movies.
kind of shit.
That makes
So-
sense for Wicked.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. It does.
Yeah.
It's on theme.
It's a
It
little-
says that
So intentional?
something has changed within me.
Yeah.
No.
Song
something
fun.
is not the
Ooh.
same.
Yeah.
So are you saying it
Wow.
was
I'm not that girl.
Are we starting a conspiracy?
They did make a statement, and it says, toy manufacturer Mattel has said it deeply regrets a misprint on packaging for dolls inspired by the Wicked movie, and they have recommended that you throw away the packaging for the dolls.
Yes,
but
throw it away.
We deeply regret this unfortunate error and are taking immediate action to remedy this.
I will say, anytime that I did get a Barbie, I mean, the packaging was immediately ripped, and I was not reading every word on the packaging. I was getting the Barbie out.
Here's the thing. Also, do the kids even look up website domains anymore? They're just going to the app.
This website, you can tell, is for like a Karen. Like if there's a case where Karen's complaining about the doll, to your point. But imagine the Karen going to now this porn site. She's mad.
Oh, she's pissed.
That's what she deserves.
Maybe so.
That's
Is it the website there to calm Karen down?
Maybe it's like to derail her.
Yeah, like
when
Karen,
she forgets.
Like
hey, maybe try chilling out.
Speaking of content, did you see that Paul Mescal? So he was in Normal People and now he's in Gladiator 2. He basically compared content and like films to two different things, basically saying, over the last few years, people have been talking about films as content. That's a filthy word. It's not content. It's fucking work.
Well, work is content.
And basically, he's kind of drawing the dichotomy between like
he's an elitist.
Instagram influencers and like
I love
actors.
I don't think it's an elitist to value art as art.
Yeah, but who is to decide what is art or work? Because he's not even talking about art. He's talking about work.
He's just being snobby is what it is. Because it's like you're saying that Instagram art or like art that's not in a theater is not art.
Well, he calls it a filthy word.
Yeah, there's people that make really great quality content that might as well be in theaters on social media. And that's pretty much saying that because they do it at home or because they're not like that. And they are getting paid to do it. It is their job. So I'm like, however, like, I don't know. I don't think you can compare what is content versus, because the way that he's saying it, he's talking about like, get ready with me or like something as if like trying to cheapen it, where I'm like, there are people who make amazing content that like you're never going to see in a movie theater.
Also, the meaning of content has drastically changed over the past year or two. I mean, just like the way we are creating content and making content. And we as a people, like people can now have more ownership in their content. You can make whatever they want, you know? Before you weren't able to do that, you know? You would never be able to make your own content. You'd have to be approved by a corporation or like a studio, or now you don't need a studio's permission to create content. Like this show, you know, for example.
I'm also like, you can consider whatever you do art, and nobody can take that from you just because their terminology of content versus yours is art. That it's all the same thing.
I just want you guys to know that when I was taking my shirt off and making Bob Ross photos and paintings and roller skating, that was fucking work. It was work.
Or was it art?
He was working.
And art. It was both art and work.
I think we should move on to what has taken the internet by absolute storm, which is Zach Bryan and Brianna LaPaglia. This is the crazy. I mean, like her speaking out about this. First of all, props to
give her like an applause.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's one thing to talk to your friends and your family, but to go on a massive platform and to share your experience about someone that a lot of people love, and you know you're going to get a lot of backlash for it, is incredibly strong. It's incredibly brave, and I do just want to like hats off to Brianna for being able to do that, because that's scary.
Give them the details of the story, but
So Brianna finally opens up about her relationship with Zach and kind of starts it off by saying that I guess Dave Portnoy really is the one who outed the number, but he wanted her to sign an NDA, and he was going to, over the span of several years, give her $12 million.
$12 million.
To sign this NDA. And she went back and forth. Obviously, that's life-changing money. That's, you know, that is hard.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And you know, I think she said, you know, even Dave Portnoy, who is an incredible businessman. I mean, hello. He was like, maybe you should take the money. And she finally decided that she wasn't going to. She got on her podcast and explained a lot of stuff that happened in their relationship. A few things being, you know, he had issues with a dress she wore to the Golden Globes. He, you know, would tell her, you know, she can't wear stuff like that. She needed to change. He didn't like it. But then he would post on social media the photo of her and be like, God, she's so beautiful. So Brianna sitting at home being like, I thought you were mad at me. I thought you hated this. But then no, you're telling the world you like it. So it was a lot of like back and forth. She said he would really build her up super, super high just to tear her down immediately.
Didn't he unfollow her after that too?
He unfollowed her after that.
It was
He
just like one
unfollowed
of
a
those,
bunch
like,
of-
the more she talked, the more you, like, she painted a very clear picture of, like, a very kind of, I think, sadly, a classic story
Yeah.
of,
Unfortunately, everybody, I think, while you're watching it, like a name pops up in your head that's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
the
I know
very
this person.
toxic, jealous kind of partner who's kind of very
Unstable.
emotionally abusive and just kind of like,
What I remember is that she said he would like throw her phone across the room and that's why it was shattered.
Mhm.
And then she did use the word abuse.
Yes, she said that
So-
he emotionally abused her.
well, when you like when she, if anyone's seen a picture of the dress she wore to the Golden Globes, I mean, she looked lovely. It was everyone has an opinion on what is conservative or scandalous or provocative, but like I think for the average person, it was just a lovely gown that
Yeah.
she was wearing, and then you hear her talk about how he
The
essentially
switch up.
slut shaming her, telling her what type of energy he thinks she's putting off by wearing said dress. And then again, the kind of the psychological, he's like an emotional terrorist when you tell her she's doing one thing and then he, does another thing public facing. And it's just like, you don't know how to be around these types of people because they're just constantly fucking with your mind and your emotions.
Mhm.
robbing you of your joy. When she was talking about the tour and how she was on tour with him for months at a time, they scheduled her podcast tour. She was like, I was isolated, alone. I had no friends. I didn't know these people, but staying by her dude. The second that she gets her podcast tour up and going, he's sending her text messages, breaking up or not responding to her, booking a pop-up show just to like fuck with her, and then breaks up with her while she's trying to work. So she's devastated on the other side of the country. And it's like, you can't pick up your phone. You can't FaceTime. But he's playing a game.
It's also like she went through so much of this while being trapped on a tour bus. It feels so sad and so scary that like she just never knew what version of her boyfriend was gonna like walk into her tiny tour bus. Like
Mhm.
she had no idea what version she was going to get. I think the last time she saw him, he was like, I gotta go back home. Like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. And she was like, okay, I get it. Can I have a hug? And he was like, no. And left. And she hasn't seen him since. And then when all of this, they broke up, he was like, listen, like whatever you need. She was like, I want a week to just process this before the world finds out and I have to deal with it with the world. And then he gets caught on Raya. And so he posts a statement saying that they're broken up. So he didn't come off as a cheater. And she said that she called him and was like, dude, seriously, like you made a dating account? And he said, I didn't make a dating account. I reactivated it, which like just pissed me off so bad that like
The details are
that
not
was his
helping.
response.
Mm.
It's like, that's what you have to say when like, I don't know. It's just so sad. And then I feel like the part that really breaks my heart is in this entire podcast, the TikTok she's made following, she makes it a very large point to take fault. And she's very much like, I stayed in this relationship and I stuck around and I blame myself for this. And I think that is what's so sad because so many of us in those situations blame ourselves and take the fault. And I think we're wired to do that because our partner, nothing's ever their fault, right? And it's like you work so hard and you fight so hard to stay in a relationship because you have to like fight for every inch of validation and every inch of like love from this person that when it gets bad, you're like, I should leave. But then you're like, well, fuck, I fought so hard. Like, why would I just give this up? Like, I've done everything. And so I think her blaming herself is just so heartbreaking. And like, if anyone is in those situations, it's not your fault. And like, while those things may be true, while she might have stayed when she shouldn't have, whatever, I think we can all say that we've done that. It's like, it's not your fault. It's the abuser's fault. It's the person who isn't treating you right's fault. And it just,
100%.
it like makes me sad that these women are just like blaming themselves.
But also thank God that she is saying something, because at the end of the day, like you are letting us know something about somebody who the next girl would be so excited to fill your shoes.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's like that is something that like we need to do to protect each other.
And I also want to like the women before him, I've seen them get so much hate right now because they're like, why would they take the money? Like, you've got to talk about this. Like, where, and it's like, I don't know what he offered his previous relationships. I don't know what he's offered. I've seen some people be like, I signed an NDA for nothing. Like, I'm a clown, And it's like, Brianna is in a position where she is lucky enough to say no to this money. And she
Right.
said that herself. And it's like, to bash these women for taking money because they're not
what's their choice between $1 million
lot of
or
money.
7 figures or being hated on by his entire audience. It's like I could tell the truth and then no one could believe me and his entire fan base can crucify me, or I can just take an amount of money I may never see my entire life and have peace of mind and then go get therapy. Like, and then people want to judge people for that? Fuck you.
No, it's wild.
You know? Like, it is, yeah.
Well, and the interesting part too is that people started claiming then that Brianna was paid $10 million by Dave Portnoy to like do a tell-all.
And she's already come out and been like,
Said
that's not
no.
fucking true.
Yeah, and it's just like there's no winning.
But
in
even if that were
situation.
true, good for Dave. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
yeah.
he's worth
To Sierra's point,
ungodly amount of
you're
money.
protecting others
Yeah.
in the future by coming out and saying something. So
Also, like, Zach Bryan, how stupid are you? He's so bad and so, like, I mean, this man didn't even think, knowing he has a history of this type of behavior, he's already allegedly had exes sign an NDA. So he has a history of knowing that he's dating, you know, he's like, his thing apparently is to date women, be fucking shitty, and then get them to sign this NDA. And then he decided to date Brianna Chicken Fry, who's like best friend and co-host is Dave Portnoy. You say a lot of things about Dave Portnoy, but he likes to protect his friends. And then Zach Bryan, just like the way it's just like how sloppy and stupid. I don't know.
He thinks he's untouchable.
Yeah, maybe it's how arrogant do you think you are?
I also do think, and she, you know, when you're in these relationships, and I can speak from experience, I think a lot of women can speak from experience of where it's just, and Brianna said it's like she wasn't herself. And I think, you know, she got a lot of hate for a lot of things she said recently, and it's clear she was going through a lot. It's clear she was under a lot of pressure. And it's like, while I don't make excuses for those things, it's clear there was something going on that where she wasn't in her right mind and she wasn't thinking clearly. And it's like a lot of people turned on her to then find out that like, oh, this is what was happening behind the scenes. Like,
I think she even said it was projection.
100%.
Yeah, she was like, I was clearly projecting.
Yeah. And I think also the 12 million, you know, I don't know. She said they recorded each other a lot. You know, I don't know if that is what he's trying to protect of like, I don't want these videos to get out. I honestly think he cares more about people not knowing the truth behind his songs.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like, I think that people, he cares more about people being able to like sing his songs and relate to his songs and not know anything that's gone on behind the scenes and just be like, oh, he's such a magical
so
writer.
when he sings songs like I'm gonna let you down and I'm gonna act a certain way, when you listen to the song, it's more like, oh, you know, he's trying his best to be a good guy, but he's just gonna let you down, and boy, ain't that the truth.
Just
you
a
know,
flawed human.
what a guy. Oh, shucks, you know, he's just gonna drink a little too much and we listen to it being like, he's so relatable, you know, like, but the truth is he's a monster, you know.
yeah. Well, I mean, and to give like the listeners more context, like there was something that Brianna said where like she was singing a Morgan Wallen song, and then he like wouldn't talk to her.
I
was
think
mad
that
at
just
her.
shows and I think
Another piece of shit, by the way. A lot of these guys are
Yeah.
horrible fucking
Yeah.
people. And there's chances are your favorite celebrity, 50% they're monsters. Some of them are great people and a lot of them aren't.
But also, I think that speaks to like just how weak of a man he is, because it's like he refuses to consider himself as country. He's like, I am not a country artist. I am not a country singer. He like thinks it's disrespectful to him. I don't know. And so it's like to not even allow your partner to listen to anyone other than you. It's like, how weak, how like small of a man do you have to be? It's just
No, that's giving very small dick energy.
baby.
yeah.
This is about as small as it gets.
It's definitely a take. He's continuing to post as if nothing's going on.
Didn't he release music too? In
He's
the
releasing music, which is it's now like top 5, I think, in the world. I mean, it's like at the same time that all of this is happening, it is bringing so much more attention to Zach Bryan and his music. And, you know, they're saying like Pink Skies was written about Brianna's co-host Grace. And it's like Brianna said that she drug Zach to Grace's grandmother's funeral, and he was pissed and he screamed at her and it was a huge fight. And then he ended up writing that song, which became a massive smash hit. And it's like, you know, I think that he's just going about it as like, my name's in your mouth. I'm going to keep releasing music. You're going to keep listening to my stuff because you're going to keep wanting to find out little things that I've written about. And he's just getting bigger and bigger.
I think as a society, we should start devaluing the tortured man.
It's also
You
like, this
know?
is what happens when we make ugly people famous.
Literally, I don't think I had ever actually seen a picture of Zach Bryan before.
He's got balls when you consider these 5 foot nothing balding
Like,
27-year-old.
And he is
talent. Talent
he
is
is
very
talented.
sexy.
He is very talented. He's an incredible writer.
Yeah, but
he's a shit human.
yeah.
He's a shit boyfriend. He's
Yeah.
a shit partner. He's a shit friend. His bandmate, someone who he considers his brother. He talks about he's had his bandmates for his whole life. Released a song a few days ago. Zach releases his High Road the exact same day and says nothing about his bandmate releasing his own single song. Says nothing. Posts nothing about it. He just releases his own to like one-up it. It's like
Really?
yes.
His bandmate released a song and he basically overshadowed him?
Yes, RJ released a song.
I did look to see if Zach responded to any of this like podcast stuff, and I guess he reposted 2 days ago on his story one of someone else's posts, but the quote said on the post, "I didn't know what to say. I felt like crying. God damn it, everybody in the world wants an explanation for your acts and for your very beginning." And that's like a Jack Kerouac quote.
I don't know. He's good at playing the victim.
So it's
That's
like
all.
he
he's
is
posting
trying
a
to-
Jack Kerouac quote
Kerouac,
after.
yeah. So it's like he's
Like
reposting stuff to like respond, but not being direct to your
Jack
point, Natalie.
Kerouac, another tortured artist that was like awful to everyone around him, and everyone's like, he's so talented though.
Zach responds to everything. Anytime he is like caught, when the whole Taylor Swift tweets happen, he immediately posted a tweet being like, I did this, like, I'm sorry, I was doing this, I'm deleting Twitter. Like
And when he got arrested?
when he arrested, he made a public post. So it is like interesting that now he's just deciding to like not say anything when he's responded to every questionable negative attention he's ever gotten. And Walker Hayes, country singer, wrote the first diss track against Zach Bryan.
Is it good?
No. But that doesn't matter. He called out Zach Bryan basically.
Before this all happened?
Oh yeah, this is
what
all
was he
about.
saying?
It basically is because Zach Bryan got on Twitter and like talked shit about one of the songs that Tyler Childers got like nominated for an award for, and Walker Hayes was like, "Whoa, like
Jesus didn't fight so
Let's
that
be
I
happy.
could beef with Zach Bryan.
literally."
Insane.
All right, well.
Well, I love Dave Portnoy and Josh Richards' diss track. It's stuck in my head right now as I'm
No.
looking at you.
Send your love to Brianna.
Literally. How's it go?
But now
To
that
be
she's free of TV.
Yes, it is. It's
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're defending their friend. Well, up next, we have the hilarious Nwodim from SNL to talk about Grammy nominations and her love for reality TV. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of business. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Regardless of the size of your business or what stage your business is at, Shopify is the leading e-commerce platform. We use it here at NV Media. It is an absolute go-to if you're doing any type of e-commerce selling. The best part about Shopify, it grows with your business. It makes it incredibly easy to get your business up and running. You could have a incredibly professional customer-facing website in a matter of days via Shopify. It's drag and drop functionality. It's incredibly easy to use. They have an amazing app. You can literally run your business from your phone. And also, it's like really fun when you make a sale and you hear this cha-ching. Super fun. Check your inventory at any point. Check your order status. Really check anything. Also, it's incredibly great because there is a ton of apps that can enhance your Shopify experience that are plug and play. It's absolutely amazing. And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. So if you are growing your business, your e-commerce platform better be ready to sell whatever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in store, or in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Viall Files merch. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/VIALL, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/VIALL now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/VIALL, all lowercase. Helix Sleep is the perfect place to get the perfect mattress. We've been talking about Helix for some time now because it is the most amazing mattress ever. We've been sleeping on the Moonlight mattress from Helix for over 4 years now. We got the same mattress for the Lake House because we must be sleeping on a Moonlight wherever we go. We love to travel, but the only thing we hate about traveling is sometimes when we stay in a hotel, we don't get to sleep on a Helix mattress, and it really bums us out because we are obsessed with it. It is the greatest moment of every day, laying our heads on our bed, which is the Helix mattress. You too can be getting the best night's sleep you've ever had with a Helix mattress. Just go to helixsleep.com, answer a few questions about your sleeping preferences, and they will get you a mattress perfect for your needs. It doesn't matter if you sleep hot, sleep cold, sleep on your side, sleep on your stomach, sleep on your back. Picking tall sleepers, no problem. Kid sleepers, they got you covered. They have a lineup of 20 unique mattresses, so they have a mattress for all kinds of sleepers. For those kid sleepers, they got mattresses designed for those growing bodies, endorsed by child sleep experts. And if you don't want to take our word for it, no worries. They give you a 100-night sleep trial, and all their mattresses come with a 10 to 15-year warranty, depending on the mattress. But if that's not enough, they were awarded #1 mattress picked by GQ and Wired magazine. It was also recommended by leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as the go-to solution for improving your sleep. So if you need a mattress today, there's no other place you need to go than Helix Sleep. The prices are amazing. The comfort is even more incredible. You will not regret it. Helix is offering 25% off site-wide and 2 free dream pillows with any mattress purchase. Go to helixsleep.com/VIAL. Plus, you can get a free bedding bundle, which includes 2 dream pillows, a sheet set, a mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Hey!
Hello.
How are you guys?
Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Well, we couldn't be more happy. How has life been for you these days?
Not great, but we're pushing through
Surviving.
nonetheless. I know I'm supposed to say good, and then
That's
we
okay.
keep it pushing.
You can
but
say whatever you want.
I prefer
yeah.
honesty.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I prefer honesty in general as a rule. So, how's it been for you?
You know, we're surviving over here. You know, just trying to give the people an escape from whatever it is that might be bugging them out. You know.
Yeah, respect. And,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to be here and be part of that.
I feel like that is what SNL does too. They're like, you know what? We're gonna make everything that's going on in the world that is stressing people out. We're gonna make it funny, and we're gonna make you laugh at it.
Yes, that is a big giant part of the goal. I got a text from someone last night who lives in LA pretty late last night, and they were like, "Hey, hope you're doing well. Want you to know that the cold open made me laugh, and I haven't laughed in days. So thank you for that." And I was like, and that's why we do it, y'all. That's why we do it.
Yeah, it is funny when you guys can nail we don't talk any politics on this show, but when you guys get into it and kind of get both sides, so to speak, to begrudgingly laugh, I think we can all agree that if nothing else, it's all kind of nuts and crazy. And when you guys bring some humor into it, it makes everyone feel at least a little better, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't know how the writers were going to pull it off, but they did. They did. And at least one human being told me they laughed. And so mission accomplished. I'm always trying to make at least one person feel joy. That's my whole thing.
We make more than one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I loved very much of that. It was really great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Mary over here is a huge fan of SNL and you as well.
Mary, I can't see
Hi.
Mary.
Can you say
I'm in the
this is
corner.
what Mary
there's
press
Mary.
7.
Yay!
Hi, Mary.
Nice to meet you. I love
Nice to
SNL.
meet you.
Yeah, huge
Oh
fan.
man, thank you.
Yeah, I did love the cold open.
We heard you're a big fan of the
thanks.
Grammys.
Well, I don't know if I'm a big fan of the Grammys. I'm.
Do you want to say thank
I'm
you,
very
Beyonce, right
invested.
now?
I would love to thank Beyonce. I am. There are a few things that pop up in the news, specifically in pop culture and entertainment news, that I go, oh, I need to see what's up with that. And I was at work, and the Grammy noms list came out, and I was like, I gotta find the list, and I gotta see who's on it, because I was very invested in music this year.
Mhm.
I mean, I like music a lot in general, which is not a unique, fun thing, but yeah.
Well, so what are your big takeaways? Are we going to go Chapel or is it Serena? Are they going head to head? Serena.
Sabrina or Chapel. I think this is going to be a tough year, because there were some real bops this year and some real hits. And if we're going based on popularity, some people really broke through this year. I'm guessing Sabrina had this mainstream appeal in a way that I'm like, you couldn't get espresso out of your head even if you tried, even if you didn't know the words. Like, I posted a video to my Instagram story, or a series of videos to my Instagram story last year, asking all my castmates to sing the lyrics of Espresso, just the chorus. It was the week Sabrina was the musical guest at SNL. And basically no one knew the words. So, but we all knew the melody.
tune, yes.
And so I feel like Sabrina, it might be Sabrina. But I was really curious to see who's going to get Record of the Year in terms of, I was a big fan of Kendrick's, the way Kendrick approached this beef. He really brought rap beef back, and I want to see him win something, you know?
Like, how do we think Drake is
win
feeling about like Kendrick absolutely eating him up? He's not okay.
You know, I don't think he's okay. I think he's pretending to be okay, but I don't think he's okay. He couldn't possibly be. He couldn't possibly be okay after that. I wouldn't be okay. But he is taking selfies still, so that's something.
There you go.
That's something.
He's got that filler.
Indication. Proof of life.
It is a proof of life, if anything.
If people are talking shit about you and all you're doing is taking silent selfies just to let you know you're wrong.
I don't think SNL helped Espresso because I think it honestly made it worse with I think
the bridesmaid sketch.
Yes, that one I think was also stuck in everyone's heads for weeks.
Domingo.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm like, I think that's gonna. There are people I feel like that discovered Espresso via Bridesmaid sketch and the Domingo of it all, because I'd see comments like, fill me in on what's so funny here. And it's, part of it is that we're singing made up lyrics to Espresso. But very fun. I think that might actually, I forgot about that. And that's how quickly the week before at work is erased from my memory. I forgot we even did that. I forgot that was mere weeks ago.
Crazy. It was huge.
I think that's going to be the thing that gets Espresso an award of some sort.
I think so too. It has to be. I mean, Domingo. Do you think we'll ever meet Domingo?
We did.
He came out.
Yeah, he came out. He said, "I'm Domingo."
Domingo came out at the end.
Oh, I didn't get there. I think I turned it off. I think I turned it off because I was like, this is literally replaying in my head. I have to get it out quick.
That's many people's, I would say, favorite part of that sketch is when Domingo appears at the wedding and he's like, Kelsey's like my sis, but we did hook up though.
That was so funny.
I have to go back.
It's great. It's a really good sketch. It's awesome.
Do you realize, I guess, in the moment when you're doing these sketches, like, oh, this is going to be huge? Like, or are you like, I don't know, maybe it'll land?
I'm more like, I don't know. I feel like whenever we do a sketch, there's no telling for us how an audience is going to respond to it, because there are things that our table read that absolutely kill, destroy, have us all erupting in laughter, applauding our castmates, and then we put it up at dress rehearsal and the audience is like, the fuck, and silent. And so we have no real gauge on what people are going to like and how people are going to respond to it, let alone whether it's going to like pop off and blow up. And so that was one, I couldn't have anticipated that. But then I go, I guess it is kind of like an earworm when like I can like Monday morning, like what do they say about football?
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah. Cool. I'm just getting into sports now, guys.
Us too.
Monday morning quarterback. Okay. Monday morning quarterback it and go, oh, I see, this is why this might have gone viral. But otherwise, we're like, we don't know. And we're rehearsing it. Like, one of the writers took a video of us rehearsing that sketch and doing the dance rehearsal. And I'm like, if I'd known this sketch was going to be such a big deal, I might have put makeup on for rehearsal, and I might have wore a different outfit. I didn't know you were going to post that video.
Right.
You get to meet, obviously, a lot of different high-profile celebrities. Have there been any ones that you kind of got more excited than others, or that felt like a surreal moment, or are you just kind of desensitized now that you get to meet so many different people?
Good question. I mean, I feel like I did like a double take and kind of like, oh my gosh, she's here when Eddie Murphy came to host.
Yeah,
that was a huge one for me. Grew up watching him. So obviously such a huge fan of his. Amy Poehler was in the hall, I think, last week. And I was like, oh my God, Amy, because I think she's so immensely talented and also so incredibly kind and just such a jovial spirit. So that was very exciting. But by and large, at a certain point, I'm like, of course, I'm going to meet everyone. But there are people I want to meet that I haven't met. So I don't want to act like I'm so chill about it.
Do we have, can you want to put out a vibe, just to put it out there, who maybe you're hoping for?
I've put it out a lot. Jay-Z, I would love to meet. I want to meet Jay-Z.
Has he not had a
big
moment
Jay-Z
on
fan.
SNL?
Has he hosted ever?
He was the musical guest of the premiere episode the season before I got hired.
Oh.
And so, yeah, exactly. Can you even believe? Can you even believe? I go, what is this? But we have the big 50th coming up, and so maybe Hov will make an appearance there. Maybe not. But that's somebody. I mean, if I could meet Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, that would be pretty tight to say I did that. I was in the same room as Michelle Obama this summer in Ojai, and I was like so close.
Babe, you want to tell her?
Yeah, I've met Barack. I did. I
You
met
met
him.
Barack?
I did. I met him. We went to this. I don't remember the exact. I think it was like getting creators to vote, or I don't know. But there was like no plan of Barack being there. It was like not mentioned at all. They were just like, we need everyone in the back room. We're gonna do like a toast, and it was like, I have to pee, and they're like, no one can go to the bathroom. And we're like, okay. And he walks in like so suave, and he's just like, oh my God. And he was like, it's so great to meet you. He like reached through a crowd and shook my hand. I haven't washed my hands since.
Gosh.
No, it was magical. It was very magical. And he said that he wanted to meet you. I was like, that's a weird time to bring her up.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's so crazy. How long ago? And the year was like 2016 before I was ever on.
That was 3 months ago.
This is a few months ago. This is, And he was like, I'm obsessed with, And I was like, okay, I mean, I want to talk about me, but sure, I guess we can talk about her.
Yeah.
Have you always been?
I wish that were true.
It's true. It's true. Have you always been so great at impressions, or is this something that has come later on in life?
Thank you for saying that. That is a kind compliment. I think it started with me like doing impressions of my mom and my aunts and uncles. Like I would just mimic the way they spoke. I'm first generation Nigerian American. And so I would mimic the way they spoke if they said something. And then they'd all laugh at me mimicking them. Of course, I had no idea, even into early adulthood, had I any idea that would be translated into my career and work at all.
That's crazy.
But that's when it started, I would say. I feel like I could do an impression of many people for like 10 seconds maximum. And then when we start to get into like, I think Jamie Foxx is like a master impressionist, and I'm obsessed with the way he approaches impressions. I could never do what he does, but it started with, thankfully, my family being good sports about me making fun of them. Yeah, that's when they were very good sports. And I have to say, another person that was surreal to meet is freaking Dionne Warwick, who is an impression I've done on the show. Miss Dionne, she's incredible. That was really, really special. And then to sing a duet with her, I was like, what is even happening? Pinch me.
Yeah. How is that to do impressions of someone and then to meet them? Like, are they like, I didn't think I sounded like that. Or are they like, you crushed this?
Well, you know what? It's okay. So my friend printed this out for me and framed it, but it's right after I did the Dionne Warwick talk show for the very first time. The next morning, Dionne tweeted like, you did a wonderful job, baby. You're a star. And my friend printed that tweet for me. It's on my vanity in my bedroom.
As it should be.
So I was so grateful that she embraced the impression. But I get the sense every once in a while, and not with me because I don't do a ton of impressions, but I get the sense every once in a while that I'm like, someone doesn't acknowledge the impression that was done of them on the show and is like, oh, they hated it. But I don't know that that's true. Maybe they just don't give a fuck. But in my mind, I'm like, if they don't acknowledge it, they kind of hated it. But I don't worry too much because I don't do too many impressions. And thankfully, that was one where I was like, I hope she knows this is done purely out of love. And she was being very funny on Twitter at the time. It was of the moment in that way.
Do you still have to do impressions for your SNL audition?
You can do whatever you want with that SNL audition. They give you 5 minutes and you can like, a lot of the people in the cast who are stand-ups did like 5 minutes of stand-up.
What did you do?
I did not do stand-up. I did characters. I did an impression of my mom, of course, and her having a meltdown about me saying I wanted to be an actor. I did... At the time, LeBron James' I Promise schools were in the news big time. And so I did an original character that was a mom who was in the principal's office and basically like, hey, I've been trying to get my son in trouble so I can meet Principal King James. When does King James get involved? Because basically she's a groupie. And then I did a 911 operator who was telling everybody's business. So she'd take the 911 call and then be like, okay, hold on. And then call a friend on her cell phone and be like, so they having trouble out. And then, girl, they just called the police station.
This man got a gun.
Basically that. I haven't even done that on the show. I would love to. But then I did, God, what else was a thing? I'm blanking. I did Maya Angelou. Because also Maya Angelou is like my impression of Maya Angelou informed, I hope this isn't offensive. I've said it a few times, but I hope it's not offensive. It informed my impression of Dionne Warwick because I think they have they share a tone. I'm rubbing my fingers together for
Yes,
listeners.
you're
I'm
feeling
rubbing
it.
my fingers. But there's they share some musicality in their voices. So the 5 minutes also flew by. People were like, did you see Lorne? People ask all the time, they're like, did you see Lorne? Did you see who was in your audition? I was like, nope, didn't look over at them one time. They're like not in front of you, they're off to the side and they're like taping your audition. So yeah, no stand up for me, but shout out to those guys because I feel like that's incredibly brave as well.
How long do they make you wait before you get feedback? Did you feel good about your audition? Did you kind of have to sit for a few days and wait? What was that like?
I was in an incredibly anxious place just generally in life. And I had moved out of my apartment in LA very abruptly, like weeks before because there was a roach in my apartment. And so I moved, which is what a normal person does.
To New York.
It's brave.
I was more like, I want to sign a lease. I want to get an apartment, but I can't get an apartment because I'm waiting to hear about this thing. And so basically, right after the audition, I felt good. I heard laughs, but I was like, more like, just someone tell me I'm not getting this job so I can sign a lease. I'm like couch surfing right now and I'm not enjoying it. So then I got a call after, or a text maybe it was probably a call that was like, the producers want to like grab a drink with you. So then we arrive at these drinks and we see who else got invited to drinks. And it was like maybe 4 other people, like Bowen, Chloe. There's another girl who later got hired as well, Lauren. And we got drinks with the producers. And then after that was a waiting period, if I'm not mistaken. I think I went back to LA and then I was couch surfing still. And I was like, anyone just call me today and tell me I'm not getting it so I can go get this apartment in Studio City. And so arbitrarily decided I want to live in Studio City, by the way. I was like, I think I'm a Studio City gal now. I think I've graduated. But it was like weeks after, because then SNL was producing the Emmys that year.
Mm-hmm.
So they were consumed with that, not worried about who they were going to hire. Weeks long limbo. And then I think I found out I got the job on like a Wednesday and I moved on Thursday. And then I went on Friday to get an ID and then work started Monday. And so it was very, very, what a shock to your system.
Truly.
It was very abrupt. I was truly, I kid you not, worried about signing a lease for an apartment because I was tired of being on my friend's couch.
When you went into this drinks with producers, was there obviously you are just naturally funny, but is there an underlying pressure of like, oh, I got to make these fuckers laugh so hard?
No. So no, because I think in general, I don't try to be funny. And in fact, when I'm like, if I'm going to go like get a drink with someone, I'm going to go to get dinner with someone, I am not the comedy person who's like, and I'm here to crack you up. I'm more like, what are you scared of? And tell me what's going on in your life. Yeah. And so I'm not, and when being out with comedians, sometimes I'm like, okay, people, we understand everyone's funny. Can we just be for real for a second? So no, I was not trying to make anyone laugh. And again, you ever been so anxious that you're just kind of out of body? The couch surfing was really getting to me. Mm-hmm. I was so anxious that I was like, someone's telling me to go to drinks. No problem. I'm going to go to drinks.
You're like, can I sleep on the couch in the restaurant tonight also?
Yes, there's a restaurant. I still have a couch for me and maybe I can get some of my things out of storage. And so I feel like I was not fully present. I think I turned to Chloe at one point and I was like, do you really want this job? And she was like, yeah. And then she's like, you? And I was like, yeah. But I was like, I'm thinking about the couch.
Awesome.
Anyway, so I was not trying to make them laugh. I'm like, you just got to go be yourself. And in general, I do try to, especially just having one-on-ones or intimate. If I'm not performing, if I'm not on a stage or I'm not being asked to perform, I'm generally just trying to be a person who then I guess maybe makes people laugh sometimes, but definitely not going for it.
It's so funny that you say this. I would love to hear your take on the Ryan Reynolds, Martha Stewart, where she was like, he was my neighbor. He's not funny.
And I was like, he's not performing as your neighbor. He's taking out the trash.
I believe her.
He's just trying to live his life. Yeah. That's so funny. Okay, I just started watching the Martha doc last night.
Me too.
Yeah. Well past my bedtime. It's like guys, it's like 1:30 a.m. I was supposed to go to sleep at 11 p.m., but then I found myself just like, being an adult is fascinating because I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to put myself to bed because I know I need to wake up at a certain time, but I can rarely can I do it, or it's 50-50. And so last night it was like not happening. And I was like, I'm going to start the Martha Stewart documentary at 1:15 a.m.
Oh,
and
started
we're
at
going to
1.
watch.
How far'd you get?
I'm sick. I think I got to the point where, am I allowed, like, I don't know timestamp, but I can tell you it was like after she, what I remember is like cheating on her new husband.
Yes, and then,
her going,
and then the producer asked about her, and she's like, whatever. Did I do that?
Yeah, she was like,
whatever.
She goes, I can't, he asked her like, yeah, was it fun or infidelity? And she was like, it was neither, or no, it was like, was it infidelity or another thing? And she was like, neither. It wasn't infidelity. It was
a moment everyone should have.
Moment.
I think she says.
Yes, that's what she said.
God, I love her.
I was like, I didn't know Martha was such a bad bitch. I had no idea. I was like, whoa, Martha. And then her quote about, okay, if you want to be happy for a year, get married. If you want to be happy for 10 years. I woke up this morning, could not remember what the 10 years was. And then if you want to be happy for a lifetime,
get a garden.
Get a garden.
Yeah.
But what was the 10 years? I think
it was a dog.
A dog, maybe.
It was
I think it was a dog.
A dog.
Yeah.
It was get a dog. It was get a dog.
It was a little morbid.
Did she lie though?
No, Martha is a baddie. She was like dominating like the New York, like Wall Street before she got into like baked goods.
Yeah.
It was kind of wild.
Insider trading never hurt nobody.
She was wrong. I feel like, yeah, that was some bullshit.
But also, I bet if you ask her, when I saw the thing about the infidelity and her going like, no, that's not what that was. It was a moment everyone should have. I was, again, that's how far I got in the doc. Kind of fell asleep. I was like, can't wait to hear them ask her about the insider trading because I'm sure she thinks that was also a moment.
Like, that was fine.
Everyone should have.
Everybody insider trades once in a while.
Everyone but I do think people do. Isn't that the word on the street? Don't they?
Insider trade?
People?
I don't know.
They all do.
Yeah, but aren't people doing it?
It seems like a lot of people in power get away with it.
They teach you
a
how
lot.
to do that when you become rich. That's like the first thing they do.
That's what I thought. So I'm like, she's not wrong if in that way, maybe.
When you're not watching a Martha Stewart documentary, what are some other guilty pleasures you enjoy binging?
Okay. I'm an OG Love is Blind girl.
Okay.
But I know it's now just, I think, or I'm understanding from friends that it might just be a bunch of people who want to get on TV now. But I miss the experiment. Cameron and Lauren, they are the one success rate, or maybe there's like 2 or 3. But
there's a few now.
Love is Blind. I've been going to the movies lately, which I haven't done in a very long time, like years. We're talking years. I have not like really been on a movie kick. And so I saw My Old Ass, Honora, and Smile 2.
Yes.
And I weirdly, it was for my friend's birthday, Smile 2, and he like rented out a theater and he's like, we're all going to see Smile 2. He's like, you didn't have to see Smile 1. You'll be fine. And then as a person who really felt like I haven't been to the movies in any meaningful way in years, I was like, wait, shit, I did see Smile 1. I saw Smile 1. And the whole time I was thinking about how Sosie Bacon is my friend Jenna's friend. And so it was very distracting. I was like, I didn't realize. I was like, Jenna's friend the whole time. So anyway, movies. I'm into movies now, but also I'm kind of boring in that in my free time, I like to read.
Like what? I'm entering my reading era, and what type of books do you like to read? What are you into? Erotic thrillers?
Okay. No, you wish it were. It would be far more exciting if it was. I read. Okay, there's this priest who runs the largest gang rehabilitation center in the world, certainly in Los Angeles. Father Gregory Boyle. I read lots of his books because the way he sees life is really beautiful to me. And then I read books about how I should rest, and what rest looks like and why it's important.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be this girl. I want to tell you I'm reading.
Do you also like practice gratitude?
Low key, I try. Yeah, I try to. But also, I used to try to journal. Well, I did used to journal. It helped me a lot. And then I stopped because I was like, this is becoming tedious to me and feels like very dutiful as opposed to like soothing, if you will. It feels like a thing I have to do, and I don't like when things start to feel like things I have to do. I'm like, I'm out on that.
What are you currently reading?
I have found an erotic thriller that I have to take breaks from because I can only read it once he's fallen asleep. And so it's very much, and then I'm like, I either need to like immediately find something or I need to close my eyes and go to sleep because
Is it that
I
intense?
understand.
It's
Or
a little
find
crazy.
something. You should find something and then go to sleep. It lulls you right into sleep.
Honestly, you're right. I should. I
Yeah. Next time you read a chapter, I encourage you.
Thank you so
to
much.
find
Fuck,
some.
thank
Treat
you.
yourself, you know?
You know what? I should treat myself.
Or wake him up. Wake him up.
How
and-
late is
and-
it? How
and-
late? How late?
Yeah, what time?
What time is
Are
it?
we waking up?
Are you a go to sleep early kind of man?
Oh,
Now that we have a
as soon as
kid,
his
yeah.
head hits the pillow, I'm like, let's watch a movie. And as soon as he's in the bed, he's asleep.
Like I'll smoke
It's-
that weed around 8, and then
He's done. He's absolutely done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I respect it. So you got to find something. You're gonna find something.
I'm gonna
Tonight you're
get in the
read a
bathtub.
chapter.
I'm gonna use the bathtub, the bathtub faucet, like back in the old days.
Okay.
What? Going back to SNL, have there been any sketches that you loved that have just been rejected or that have not made it? That you're like, fuck, please.
Yes. One of them I did with Cecily Strong. I think twice, or maybe once it was with Cecily, once it was with the host. But is two door women at a club who are in charge of letting people in, but they can't read. So when you say your name, they're like, how do you spell it? They ask you how to spell it. And then because they don't really know letters either, they're like, okay, but like, what are the shapes of those? Like, okay.
What do they
I wish
smell
we could
like?
do that sketch. Yeah, what do they smell like? Like, can you do them like YMCA style or whatever? But that has not worked for one reason or another. I love it. There's also this girl who I was walking, basically I got in character for a pre-taped sketch. It was like one about a subway stop, I feel like 2 years ago or last year. And they gave me really long nails and I had like a crop top and like trashy sweats on. And I kept walking around while we were waiting to rehearse or waiting to shoot and pretending to be like an SNL super fan. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, it's Marcelo Hernando. Oh my God, Heidi Gardner, whatever. And so Mikey and I ended up writing a sketch of that woman who was like super gullible and goes to see a medium who's getting everything. He's saying the basics. And I'm just like, oh my God, like I have a grandmother. Oh my God, yeah, I got a dad too. Oh my God. And so I would love to do her, but I don't know that it's going to happen. But that was a very fun one that I'm like, we should let her live. Her name was La Tricycle.
Is there like,
awesome.
is it kind of like Games of Thrones in terms of like whose like sketches get picked up? Is there politicking or is it just funniest laugh wins?
It's not funniest laugh win. Yeah, no, biggest laugh does not win. There is politics involved. And so I guess that's like to be expected if you're making a network television show for a gigantic audience. So they have to take into consideration a lot of things. So there's some sketches I've seen at table that are like some of the funniest things I've ever seen that will never see the light of day on SNL. But our writing staff's very talented in that way. But yeah, no, there's a lot of consideration in terms of like, is this going to be offensive to this group of people? And they don't let us in on that. You just kind of like over time, like we're not in the producer meeting after our table read going, like hearing why they picked a thing versus another thing or why they didn't pick the funniest thing at table today. But after some time, you start to discern like, oh, I'm getting the sense like this sort of thing is too crass for them, or this thing only like one person is funny in it and everyone else is kind of not, or or this week they need to like showcase this cast member because they kind of have been pretty blank the last few weeks. So yeah, there's a number of things that go into deciding the show, but it is not solely the funniest thing.
Okay.
So that would be an interesting week. I'd be curious to see what a week like that on the show would be like if it was like the 5 funniest things are what's in the play.
Or they could like you guys should start like a late Saturday night, like make sketches that you guys put out like online. That's like stuff that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That would be, listen, they post up for time, but if they could like produce some of the funny ones, some of the funniest ones we've seen at the table read and turn them into, I don't know, like the SNL Uncut.
Yeah.
You guys ever see BT Uncut?
Yes.
Ever stumble upon that by accident as a young person?
Yes.
And then watch it every night on purpose after that because you're fascinated. That was me. Have you ever seen the music video for Tip Drill, Nelly?
No.
Mm-mm.
What is it?
Okay, so before you pick up your erotic book tonight. Just watch, or maybe after. Watch the tip drill video, Nelly's tip drill video. It is fascinating. And I remember, like, it's another, you stay up too late and you put on BT and just, you're like, oh, I'm going to put on this channel. You go, whoa, what's happening after hours here? It's fascinating watch. I encourage it. I just encourage everyone to watch.
I'll do it. What has it been like to work with Steph Curry on Mr. Throwback?
Oh, the shit. Steph's amazing. He truly is. He's so funny and down to play. And I feel like such a fan of comedy. He was able to hang with me and Adam. He was on his shit and I loved getting to work with him. It was super fun. He also, so I was supposed to, I can't remember if they took this out, but I was supposed to have had a basketball career myself, my character, but like Adam's character ruined my basketball career with his shenanigans. And after I got the job, they're like, do you know how to play basketball? And I was like, not even a little bit. Like, I played on a basketball league. And I told this story on Fallon, but I played on a basketball league. I was like the one Black girl on this team. And I was by far the worst. I was so bad. I didn't realize all the rules of basketball. I know what traveling is. I've heard. I know what that is. But I'm like, the rest of it, I was out of my depths.
I
and
have to tell you this story. When I played basketball and my dad was the coach for like our rec league. And I was like, well, I'm obviously the best. My dad's the coach. Like, I'm the best there is. And we were playing and it was like super tight game. And I got the ball and I shot in the wrong, you switch. Apparently you switch. I forgot about that. How you switch baskets halfway through. No. And so like the winning shot, I shot in the wrong and the other team won and my dad like benched me and it was the saddest moment probably of my childhood.
Devastating.
It was devastating.
How old were you?
I was probably 9 years old, maybe
Oh
10.
my gosh. Yeah, scarred for life. At least you could shoot though, because I can't shoot. Steph taught me how to shoot. Basically, they realized like I couldn't. They were like, she can't play basketball. I think they took it out of my character because I was like, oh no, I don't even know how to pretend. And they did keep in a scene, which I thought was savage of them, and I hadn't realized until I saw it on the internet. I was like, oh, they kept this in. Me shooting straight up air balls. We're not even close, right? And so Steph taught me how to shoot on the Today Show, and I was like, there's no way this man can teach me to shoot. And all these people around, there's like an audience watching the Today Show when you guys were outside on the courtyard. And he taught me how to shoot. And I was like, I feel like someone's gonna get hurt here because I'm actually really, really bad. I don't even say that to be like self-deprecating because it's funny. I'm actually remarkably bad. I want people to believe me. And all the people who were sitting out there understood that immediately. But Steph was able to teach me to shoot and everyone's like, oh, of course, he's the greatest shooter. Like, of course he could teach you to shoot. I'm like, no, I'm genuinely that bad. And he was able to do it. I took 4 shots. There's a whole method, obviously, because you played, but I'm like, it's a thing. And I was doing it so wrong, but I made a basket.
Have you played
and
since?
That's huge. And so, no, of course not.
Of course not. Why would you do that? Why would you
Of course not.
While you're ahead.
Why would I ever
one.
try? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's like Jordan. I want to retire while I'm on top of the game.
No.
And so I didn't. I was like, I'm good on. I'm good on playing basketball.
I'm done here.
Any reports on a season 2 for Mr. Throwback?
We haven't heard yet, but we're hoping to hear very soon. I hear from Adam and the Libmans, who are the creators, from time to time, and they're like, we're creeping, and hopefully any day now. So I would have loved to tell you guys first, but I don't even know.
Had to ask. Is there anything you do want to tell us first?
Yeah, anything you want to tell us first?
SNL 50 related?
Poker Face, perhaps?
I don't know. Even the SNL 50 is happening in February. There's no real tea. I'm trying to think if there's something in my personal life I want to tell you first. Be the first friends to find out. I go from my apartment to work while we're in season. And so people ask me all the time, they're like, oh, how do you like living in New York? And I'm like, I had no idea. I work in New York and that's it. I don't know what New York is. But no, there's no tea. The 50th is in February. I don't even know who they're bringing, but I just imagine. That's why I'm like, I hope Jay-Z's coming. Maybe Barack Obama will come. Maybe Michelle as well. I don't know who, but yeah, they're planning a huge thing and they're not telling us. So
if Barack does come, do you feel like there's like a party that wants to ask him about me at all or no?
I will absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna ask him about you, and he'll remember.
He also
reaching through the
turned her
crowd
down
and
for a
grab-
selfie, though. So
He
there
did
was
turn me
that,
down
yeah.
for a selfie. After he shook my hand, I
Oh,
was
he
like, I would
did?
love to take a selfie. And he was like, I can't do that. And I was like, okay, well, perfect. Now no one will ever believe
Oh,
me,
okay.
ever.
Wow.
that
Yeah,
it
but in
ever
fairness,
happened.
to
I'm taking your
him,
word-
he had to say no because he was going to get mobbed afterwards.
Mm.
So, like, it was
Yes,
definitely
if he takes one selfie, he has
Yeah,
to take
it was
100
self-preservation.
selfies.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Whatever.
Fair enough. I'll get a selfie with him if he comes for you. We will Photoshop your face onto my body. I don't know if that's doing you a favor or not, but
Well, it absolutely
let's
is.
play it on that.
It
Yeah,
absolutely
you're
is.
so kind.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
You're so kind.
Please. I'll just start posting your body, my face on your body on Instagram.
You're very kind. Do you know after the bridesmaid sketch, by the way, I got a couple messages that were like, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "Well, damn."
Why
I was
why
like-
would you say that? Was I giving
They're
hormonal?
like, she's giving gut. She's giving guts.
She's giving
and
guts.
bravado.
She's giving Olivia Rodrigo guts.
Yeah.
She's giving guts. And I was like, this dress, I had other things underneath that to get ready for the next sketch. And I was like, also, this dress is not built for that. I think I got to try on every one of those bridesmaids dresses in the sketch before the costumer. I was the first one to go to my fitting. And he's like, because you're first, you get first dibs. And the thing is, none of them looked right on me. And so I just kind of was like, F it. Let's take whatever this.
But I feel like
rag
that's
is.
also in true bridesmaids
Bridge dress,
fashion.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the wife, the bride is always gonna pick the ugliest shit for her friends to wear.
Yeah, they're all gonna look pretty atrocious.
And
usually.
velvet's
Did
not
you
forgiving.
do that? Wait, did you do that at your wedding?
No, of course not.
Lies.
No, I said, you know what? I said, y'all pick. I was going to go with a pale yellow. And then I said, that's fucked up of me to ask people to wear pale yellow. So I did tell them they could wear any dress in black,
Okay. Any
Mm.
dress in black. Okay.
which is like pretty
And how did they show
giving.
up? Were you pleased? Were you pleased with
I
how
was
the girlies
pleased.
looked?
I was pleased. I had to
Okay.
have a serious talking to with my sister who exclusively only shops on Amazon. And I was like, unfortunately, you cannot wear this dress that is from Amazon to my wedding. You're going to have to like go into a store and like try some on and actually and put some effort into
Was
this.
this Emily?
Yeah. Yeah. So that is how that went. But I've been in several weddings where I'm like, you fucking hate me. Why am I
Yeah.
standing beside you?
I know. You know what's well. I here's my thing. Don't you want? I've never had a wedding. I've been in weddings. I've never planned a wedding, but I'm like, don't you want everyone to just look bomb.com or not? Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna look bomb.com in my white dress. You're gonna look bomb in your what? Like, isn't that cool? I don't get that. But I had a friend. She was cool. She let us all pick our own dresses, but it was like a color palette. We got the color palette
Mhm.
assignment. It wasn't like one color, but in this world. And that was nice because it was like, great, I got a dress that I will presumably wear again.
Exactly.
But those dresses were for the bridesmaid sketch, I think a particular kind of hideous.
Yeah.
It was like these are fucked.
How do you think
Yeah.
Lisa from Temecula would do as a bridesmaid? Do you think she would be into it?
I think Lisa from Temecula. So we did a sketch where she goes to a wedding as a guest.
Oh yeah.
I was like, for this one, because she's at a wedding, can she turn her current sweater into a dress? And so we made that sweater, her iconic sweater, into a dress, like put a skirt. And I think she'd wear that to someone's wedding as well.
Yeah.
I think she'd wear that outfit in white to her own wedding. It's like the
Yeah.
sweter with the
She knows her
really
shade.
thinks
Never
she's a
takes
bad
it
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's
Convinced.
like,
she's
this
a
is
bad
my
bitch.
look. She's convinced in the
Mhm.
year 2024 that is the look and that is the vibe.
She
and I
knows
love
what
that
she
for her.
wants.
Yeah, she can. She can do
Can you please
whatever
show us
the
your
fuck
dog?
she
Can you
wants.
pick up your dog and show me your dog?
Yes,
feel
I
like
actually
need
want
see
to
your
show
dog.
you. You know why I want to do it? Because he's chewing something he's not supposed to.
Oh,
But
get him.
guys, I'm going to be happy
Get him.
for 10 years, or
Yeah.
at least 9 more. He's here. This is Chief.
Oh,
Chief.
Chief. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
This is my Bubs. This
Wow.
is Chief. This is Chief.
So
He's
cute.
chewing.
What was he chewing?
He went in his toy basket. I brought his toy basket down for him. I was like, he should be able to take whatever he wants out of here. I shouldn't police that. But what he wants is one of his little like shoes that is not in fact a toy. and he was just like ripping that apart.
He does want to let you know that he hates the shoes.
Yes, he does. He does hate the shoes, by the way. That is a real thing, which is why they were in there, and I forgot they were in there because I try to be like, do you guys have a dog?
We have
We have two.
2 dogs.
Yeah.
They get to sleep in the bed with you.
One.
Jeff does.
one-
Steve's in the kennel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is Steve in the kennel?
Because he's
Too
so
big?
fucking bad. No, he is so bad. He in the middle of the night, he is like pulling out my makeup drawer and chewing up my mascara.
No, but he's also because he's still 1 year old. But lately we've left the door open and he stays in the kennel. So we're opening it up for him to be freed. But
Okay.
we spoiled him at
Okay.
first because Jeff, our first dog, was so good. He never did
Yeah.
anything bad. And then baby Steve, we kind of let baby Steve do whatever he want, and he quickly turned into a monster.
yeah.
So we had to backtrack,
Oh.
kettle train, and now he's kind of
Like
month,
I do need I had a baby 9 months ago, and after you have a baby, you are in the biggest, largest pairs of underwear you'll ever see in your entire life. And he had thrown up so many times that I was like, oh my God, I have to take him to the vet. And I took him to the vet, and the vet was like, what has he thrown up? And I called my mom, who was staying with us, and I was like,
Yeah.
can you find that thing that he threw up this morning and send me a photo of it? And she rolled it out, and it was my
Yeah.
large pair of panty that I had to then show
Oh.
the vet that our dog had. And I was like, and I will let you know I don't wear these usually. I'll
Yeah,
explain it to you
this
right
is-
now as to why he had this.
I want you to know my underwear is actually quite attractive.
Sexy. It's
and
so
it doesn't look
sexy.
like
It's all little tiny thongs.
That's-
This was.
Wait, did you guys get a trainer for Jeff, or Jeff was just good?
but mostly he was just good.
He was mostly good, but we had
Yeah.
a trainer
Okay.
like give us
Just-
tips and tricks.
Yeah.
But
Got you. And then with Steve,
Trainer.
before
we
he
Trainer.
sent
Trainer.
him
Okay.
off.
we sent him
for a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he is
okay.
not better.
Steve. Okay. Okay. Well, Chief is very good, and so Chief is a very good boy. I want to let him sleep in the bed with me, but we live in New York,
Mhm.
and New York is disgusting. So that's where the shoes came. I was like, well, maybe if you wear shoes or like the little
Mhm.
I can justify, but he fucking hates them. And so that's out the window. But I do neurotically wipe his paws before he gets to run around. I mean, because it's nasty.
Yeah.
Maybe
here,
you could
guys.
put like a dog blanket at the bottom of your bed, and he could like stay on the dog blanket.
So guess what? This
Okay.
week I tried to do that because this week was particularly rough. I go, I'm letting Chief sleep in the bed with me tonight. And I put a blanket. It's actually the Barefoot, the Barefoot Dreams blanket. It's a nice
Damn.
blanket. I put the Barefoot Dreams blanket on my bed at the foot of the bed. And I was like, you stay on here. And he stayed on for exactly 5 seconds. He's like, no, honey, I want to be on the duvet. Like, this is,
He's like, I want to be on the silk
feathers. And
pillowcase.
yes, exactly. And he's like, it's not happening. So anyway, he doesn't get to sleep in the bed with me, but he's fine. He's kennel trained and all the things. And honestly, I don't even know that he thinks being on my bed's that exciting.
They
So
probably don't.
I tried. My mom says that too. She's like, put him on the. And also, do you feel like he should get a friend? Maybe you guys can advise me here. Should he have?
Well,
should I get a second dog, or is that insane?
No, Nick got Steve when I was like 7 months pregnant and was like, Jeff has to have a friend because we're going to have a baby and we're going to
Best thing
neglect
ever.
him. And definitely best thing for Jeff, worst thing for me. And I have never gone through so many periods of my life where I am like, I hate this dog. And then he's good.
Yeah,
And then I'm
yeah.
like, I love you so much. But it's like the way he's able to jump up on the counter and pull the stick of butter that is so far away with like his tongue or his nail is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's why. What kind of dog is Steve?
He's
They're
he's-
like golden doodles, and it's he's
Okay.
just rotten. He's absolutely rotten.
Okay. I understand. I can't tell if I'm projecting on him because every time I look at Chief, I'll be like, is he bored? Sad? Like he feels so deep, and I'm like, "Are you okay? Is everything? Do
You should get him a
I
journal.
suck as the owner? Yeah,
Maybe he
I
should start journaling.
what's that?
He should start journaling.
Journal. He should do a gratitude
A
practice.
gratitude practice. Yeah.
Does Chief watch TV?
Chief does watch TV, so I don't really watch a lot of TV. But I just was telling my mom this yesterday. I had a friend come stay with me a couple weeks ago, and I was at work and on a Saturday, and she sends me a picture of her and Chief watching TV. He's just posted up next to her, and they are watching TV. And does not look like one of those pictures you take of the dog where it's like, well, they're still for 30 seconds. Like, let me try to grab this. It was like, no, they're chilling hard. And I was like, that's what's missing from his life, honestly, is that I don't sit and watch TV. I'm like, I'm a weirdo. I want to watch like the Martha Stewart thing. I watched on my laptop. I have a big old TV and I was like, I'm going to watch it on my laptop in my bed. That's insane. People have told me that's crazy that I do that.
I think you're
that's
not alone.
normal.
I don't think you're as alone as your friends want to make you feel.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
The laptop
Yeah,
just feels
okay.
safer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels more intimate.
Yeah, it just feels cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about it feels cozy.
There's a show, I think it's on Disney Plus, and it's for babies, but they made it essentially for dogs as well, because the only colors that the show is in are colors that dogs can see. And so it's like,
oh, really?
yes. And I'm trying to figure out the name of it and I can't find it right now. But it's like, we put it on for Jeff and he's obsessed with it. Like, it's maybe, Chief, if you like leave for a moment, maybe he'd love to watch TV. Maybe get a little snack.
Genuinely, when I get off of this record with you guys, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go find out what this show is
you need
and put it on for him and see what it is and see. Do you guys watch this trash TV?
All the time.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Poison?
Well, we just finished recently Love is Blind. We really got into Love Island over the summer. We're big Housewives fans. Yeah, Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City is the best show.
Is Salt Lake City the star right now? Because I was an OG. Okay. I was OG Housewives. Big time, like my favorite. So I was watching Atlanta. I was watching Jersey, a little bit of New York. I was obsessed with Jersey. Obsessed. We're talking Teresa Giudice, or is it Giudice now? Or is
I thought it's Giudice.
Teresa
Caroline
doesn't know
Manzo.
her own pronunciation.
Oh, she doesn't.
Yeah, she's admitted it. It's like 5 different ways.
That's real.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. I obsessed, and then I felt very bad. I stopped watching because I felt so bad that Teresa's family was falling apart. And so I stopped watching because I was like, I feel so bad. I'm like, I think it's because of this show. And so I felt guilty and like I was part of it. But now I want to pick back up because I do hear Salt Lake is where it's at. I've also heard Potomac is.
I've heard Potomac's
really
very good.
Potomac's
too.
so good this season.
Yeah.
Rihanna's favorite is Salt Lake City.
Yeah. I think Salt Lake is one of the best
Really?
shows ever made. Like, I think it's like
really,
the
really
best
good.
show ever. It's perfect.
Do I need to start season 1? So so a few years when Salt Lake was first starting, I did start watching because people at work were talking a bunch about it. And I was like, I can probably return to the Housewives. That was so fun. And I remember someone smelled like hospital.
Yep.
Yeah. It
that
smells
was
like,
biggest memory.
it smells like
Jen
hospital.
Shaw, yeah.
I think for me, I like to start my Bravo, like when I introduce myself to a new Bravo show, I like to start wherever it's at. Because like Bravo's also famous for their like flashbacks. So you can start wherever, and then if you want to add context, whatever drama they're having, they either have a flashback, or you can go back and binge on Peacock or whatever it is. I like doing that rather than starting from the beginning.
This season specifically too, there's like new characters and we're not really doing callbacks to like past stuff. So I think starting at this current season, you'll be completely
you'll
fine.
be totally fine.
Salt Lake City, you started season 3 because you have to see Jen Shaw flee the FBI, which is season 2.
Yeah, Jen Shaw's
but
FBI
season
are
3 is
these
Jen Shaw
incredible
saying she's the
television.
victim, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great.
There's also only 5 seasons, so it's like not that much to watch.
It's not too much. Here's the thing. Shout out to the Housewives though, who are committing federal crimes and on television by their own volition.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm deeply fascinated by that.
I feel like this could be a sketch. It's like and they're like on TV and they're like just bragging about all their diamonds and their massive house and all their Chanel, and it's like,
they're like, I swear I pay my taxes.
Yeah. I'm just like, what is, I remember, do you guys remember, Teresa buying the house, but then they couldn't furnish it because of whatever was going on with whatever federal charges she and Joe, Joe's deported, right?
Yes.
Right?
He's
Joe
in Italy.
lives in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in Italy. Not a bad place to get deported.
Right?
To, I have to
Not
say.
one of the worst. Yeah.
And then Teresa got to take a picture with Taylor Swift. So, is it all
Cancels
worth
out.
it?
is it all worth it? I
Yeah.
feel like maybe it is. She got super ripped in prison.
Yeah.
She did or Joe did?
She did.
She became a bodybuilder.
She did.
For a minute.
She did. Oh my gosh, Teresa. I got to Watch What Happens live with her, and I was a little starstruck. I was a little like, I can't believe I'm getting to meet her. And I think I felt like Teresa had a little bit of stranger danger up top because I was like so out of the loop on what was going on with the Housewives at the time I did this episode with her. It was like a couple years ago. And it wasn't until after I was like, oh, I think a lot of people seemingly don't fuck with her. And maybe she was like guarded because she was like, am I one of those ones who don't? But I'm like, I don't know the latest. But yeah, I got to do that with her and it was a dream. I was like, I can't believe I'm getting to do this with freaking Teresa herself, who flipped the table. Prostitution whore.
Yeah.
If you love Teresa, she's on this current season of House of Villains, and her and I Love New York, Tiffany Pollard, are about to go toe to toe in the next episode. I'm obsessed.
Okay. I will have to watch. Yes. I will have to watch because I was a big I Love New York fan.
Yes.
Truly. Do you guys see that? Every time I see the meme of her on the bed with her arms crossed and pouting, Tiffany, I'm like, it's always perfect every single time.
Yes. It encompasses the mood perfectly.
There's no misuse of that meme.
She is an icon and she is a legend.
Ever. Okay, I need to see those two go toe to toe because I'm like, I don't know who's going to win that battle because Teresa's savage and she'll never let you forget she's from Paterson, New Jersey, which meant nothing to me until she said it so much. I'm like, that must be the hood.
But I'm scared of Paterson, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I was like, I all of a sudden know I should be scared of Paterson, New Jersey. I'm going to watch. Thank you very much. I'm watch Martha talk her shit tonight. And
put on Bluey. It's Bluey for Chief.
Oh, Bluey.
Bluey.
People talk about like adults talk about Bluey all the time. Like adults who don't have children. It's a thing
for their dogs.
Bluey's having a moment, but
maybe
I don't
you
even know
like
if
it more than Chief. I don't know.
I think I'm not necessarily. I'm not an animated girl. I love my that's why I did love the Housewives because I am very like, let me see what's actually happening in people's lives, whether it's a little scripted or not. I'm like, let's see what's going on.
It's more staged than scripted, I feel like.
Guided.
More staged, correct.
Yeah.
Did you guys, my love affair that I've since fallen off from with reality TV did start with Laguna Beach.
Yes.
That was my,
that's where I started too.
That was Laguna Beach was it for me. I was obsessed. Elsie, Kristen.
Elsie.
I can't remember.
Steve then.
Whitney was the Hills. Yes. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the time. I thought this was so funny. It's probably so wrong now. So bear with me. And meaning wrong morally. But someone like fucked somebody's boyfriend and then was like apologizing for it. And then in the apology, whoever they were apologizing was like, say you're a slut. Say you're a slut.
Jesus.
MTV reality.
For just one episode of something, I want them to go back and I want them to just do what we used to do in the early 2000s and just see
if it landed.
Happens. Just see what happens.
Yeah. Just put it out there.
Yeah.
Get the jersey to her list.
Really let some shit fly. I will say.
It's true.
I'm like, there are so many things we were just like, wow, that's crazy and laugh about it. And now we're like, that's terrible. But I just thought that was wild. I was like, well, she's apologizing already, in which I feel like it takes. Yeah, say you're a slut. Say you're a slut. I don't want to say I'm a slut. I'm saying I'm sorry.
She's like, I'm practicing gratitude. I cannot say that I'm a slut.
I'm a slut. I'm working on myself. But yeah. Anyway, guys. You got me. I'm gonna get it.
You have work
and then
to
I'll come back and tell you all my. I have work to do. Can you believe? And a journal to journal in.
Yes.
I want to know what happens. I need to know what happens in your book. And after or before you watch Tip, I just need to know what your Tip Drill experience is. Let me know.
Okay,
somehow.
I will. No, I'll keep you updated for sure. I'll send videos or pictures or voice memos or something.
No voice memos. Somehow, why is voice memo worse to me? I go, no, not a voice memo.
Not a voice memo, please, no. It's always like you can always like
Do you
hear
say
like
hi first?
It's always like. Okay, like you're out of breath for some reason for doing the like voice memo, and it's like, why are you so out of like? Why are you breathing so hard?
walking and doing a voice memo. Always, it's someone like, sorry, I'm just walking down there. I'm like, why does it sound like this?
It's very
time.
serial killer.
Every time.
It's always very
and then
deeply
when the
unsettling.
other person keeps it, you're like, why'd you keep that?
Yeah.
You know, like,
I know.
I love to keep a voice memo to
Wait.
stress someone out. It's awesome.
I keep them too. I've kept them. Someone were like, I'm not even particularly close to. We were about to do a job, and they were talking about someone. It wasn't even bad. It was basically like, we're getting a lot of money to do this job. Like, let's rob this, like, air quote, rob this bank. And I was like, I kept the note, and then I immediately was like, oh my God, we're not that close. I just like keep the notes. I do this. I always do. It's a default reaction. I'm not gonna like play this for anyone while you basically say this job is done and let's rob this bank. I knee-jerk reaction to just save it. But I do save them too. I never play them back. I don't know. I save all of them. I keep all of them.
Yeah,
but I
that is
don't ever play
interesting.
them back.
People
Well,
who
I think
say
it's
that, like,
because
do you
like
go back and listen?
they delete themselves, and I think you never know if you get to it right away whether it's going to go away or not. And I feel like that created the habit of people saving it because it were like you weren't sure how much time you had to listen to said note, so it just like it created a lot of uncertainty, and now everyone has blackmail on each other.
Everybody has blackmail. Never leave a paper trail. But now we're just like leaving literal voice evidence of ourselves. We're all basically wearing wires or something.
Yeah. What is the Dorinda quote? She's like, say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Isn't that what she said?
Something.
Yeah, something like that.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the updated like
Well,
gangsters.
we had
philosophy.
so much fun chatting with you, and we hope that you'll want to come back and after you do your homework, obviously, and give us some more hot takes.
I will do my guys. You're setting me down a path, and I'm here for it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
thank you. I
That's
had
what we're
so
here
much
for.
fun with you guys. Thank you.
Where could,
Yeah.
if I'm sure most people already know where to follow you and consume all your content, but if they do not, where can people follow you and enjoy all the great things that you're doing?
You can follow me on Instagram at EggyBoom, EGGYBOOM. I have a podcast called Thanks Dad on HeadGum, but you can get it wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks Dad, I talk to dads about being dads, and they get to tell me their tea. I don't have a relationship with my dad. It's born of this idea, and so they get to be my dad for a day. It's cute.
That.
And then I'm on SNL, and Saturdays at night.
Okay.
Pacific, 8:30 p.m. I believe.
Yeah,
Eastern,
That's us.
11:30 p.m.
There you go.
And so those are the places, and maybe in the streets of Brooklyn
all
going
right.
to work. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All
We
right.
really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Love her. Oh, you're still here.
I'm still here. Love
Bye.
you guys. Okay, but for real, bye.
Okay, bye.
Dreamland Baby creates award-winning gentle weighted sleep solutions to help babies feel calm, fall asleep faster, and stay asleep longer. Plus, give those parents the peace of mind that your child's getting the best sleep ever.
We've been using Dreamland for pretty much all of River's life. There might have been a few months in the beginning where we were
A
like
couple days, maybe.
a couple days,
Yeah.
maybe.
But other than that,
in
she's
the
been-
she's been a Dreamland baby.
Yeah.
Literally. And she sleeps so good. Like we accidentally traveled one time without it. We forgot it in her crib.
That was not fun.
That was not fun. She did not sleep as good. Therefore, we did not sleep as good. It's so perfect because it's weighted evenly throughout shoulders to toes. And so it just feels like they're sleeping with like you hugging them or like your hand on them. And it just is so calming.
It's
and
cozy.
and cozy.
It's easy to clean. It's got a two-way zipper, so if you need to do a late night change in the middle of the night when it's dark out, no problem. You don't even have to take it off. And if for some reason there's an accident, you need to wash it. Super easy. Just throw it in the washing machine and it'll be ready to go for that night's sleep. So if you want to get some of the best sleep that you can have with your baby and have your baby get some great sleep as well, you got to look into Dreamland Baby. Anyways, it's amazing. We love it. So does River, and your baby will too. Go to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter our code VIALL at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers. Again, that's dreamlandbabyco.com and use our code VIALL at checkout for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. Symbiotica is a supplement brand that we love, giving us access to a wide variety of different options. Listen, when it comes to supplements, they are not created equal. There, unfortunately, is a lot of crap and a lot of supplements out there. And when we're taking supplements, what are we trying to do? We're trying to be healthier people. We're trying to ingest healthy things into our body to make us feel good. And that's where Symbiotica comes in. Symbiotica is the one thing that we can always count on to consistently take care of our health, and right now, it is the best time for you to try it. They are formulated with the highest quality ingredients out there. Symbiotica is transparent about how and where they source ingredients to ensure you get the best products possible. They're easy to take packets, make taking my supplements quick, convenient, and enjoyable. Plus, they use advanced liposomal delivery to ensure that your body can absorb the nutrients much faster and more effectively than other supplements. We trust Symbiotica and their ingredients. Symbiotica products are made clean with intention. They don't contain seed oils, preservatives, toxins, artificial additives, or quote-unquote natural flavors. Unlike other supplements that can taste chalky, Symbiotica features supplements that taste delicious. From their citrus vanilla taste, of their vitamin C, or their vanilla cream flavor of magnesium L-threonate, you can get great taste across all of Symbiotica's offerings. High-quality holistic health right at your fingertips. Be present and feel your best for life's most memorable moments. Go to Symbiotica.com/VIALL for 20% off your order plus free shipping today. Again, go to Symbiotica.com, spelled Symbiotika.com/VIALL for 20% off your order plus free shipping today. I'm glad we got Ego watching Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
again.
I feel like I
Yeah.
should publish my master sheet because I made you one for Salt Lake City way back when. And I'm sure you didn't look at it. But
I definitely looked at
it
it.
has
We
every episode that
browsed.
anybody should watch.
I
if
think
they're
it could
starting.
change lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you
I
post
should,
that?
yeah. But basically, because season 3 is the best launching pad, like I said, but there are like little bits before.
So just for the audience, explain what you made.
So basically, when we first started talking about season 4 last year, I sent Nicholas. I was like, just in case you ever want to watch Salt Lake City, here's, I think it was like 6 episodes to watch.
And when
pre.
when you were trying to get me to get into it.
I was trying to get you to get into it, and it was like 6 episodes pre season 4 to like make you want to watch it.
Mhm.
And we got there.
You did. I just had to pick up season 4.
Yeah, neither of us have watched before season 4.
I have never
So-
seen Jen Shaw get arrested.
Like-
Season 3 is like the best season, but then season 2 has her being arrested.
To watch Jen Shaw get arrested on television and then spend an entire next season victimizing herself and just screaming at everyone
It's
is
crazy.
like the best television in the entire world. Like, she is evil.
If you could ask Jen Shaw one question, what would you ask her?
Girl,
What were you thinking?
How dare you?
do you feel bad? I would Erica Girardi her. I would be like, do you feel bad for the people that you scammed?
The victims.
The victims.
Yeah.
And then she'll probably victimize herself. That's the thing. I know if she goes back on Salt Lake City, she's going to be like,
She'll be like, but do they feel bad for me? I
yeah,
went to
she's going to
prison."
find a way to
She-
victimize herself.
She's gonna go back on Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think she has to. I think
She's
it's
going to be like, you guys all betrayed me.
she like love everybody on the current season, but it's like she made Salt Lake City the show that it was because she dominated the cast so much.
I know,
Well,
but it's-
there's-
I don't think we need to go back to that.
Exactly.
It's so
I think we're done.
toxic.
I think we're
know,
done.
It is, but like good TV.
I love
that was really good
Bronwyn.
TV.
Do you want her back, or do you think she'll come back?
I think she'll come back too. I think she's gonna Teresa Giudice it.
I don't know.
Or Erica Girardi, Erica Jane. She's still in Beverly Hills and people love her.
Not
again.
taking down what Teresa did, but I think it's a lot different stealing from the government and stealing from old people.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And Jen is a criminal.
In terms of like the audience's appetite for forgiveness.
I also don't think there is anyone she could replace that we would be okay with. I mean, Bronwyn carried
Yeah.
this episode.
Mhm.
I love her.
The fight between her and Lisa was so petty, but also she ate.
Yep.
Yeah.
when Bronwyn specifically said, she was like, Heather's saying Bronwyn said this. You're saying Bronwyn said that. Well, Bronwyn says.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And it
Hey.
was like whenever she came back from the bathroom and caught Lisa calling Heather, it was like she caught
Mhm.
her child like trying to sneak candy. It was like the way
Shopping
that
on her
Lisa,
credit card or something
yeah,
like
the
that.
way that Lisa was like, "Oh no, I was just calling to say that I missed her," and that it's like that's not why you called. You called because y'all were arguing about why
Yeah.
she wasn't
Yup.
there. in
and
the
it
first
was,
place.
right? Like, let's rest the case. That was a vindictive move.
1000%. Because
Lisa Barlow was being vindictive.
all she had to do was go to
Shocker.
her room, bring Meredith with her, and call
Yeah.
Heather
She
if
did
she
it on
wanted to. So
purpose.
exactly.
Lisa's infamous for like testing people's like tolerance
It's
and
iconic.
seeing what she can get away with.
But then also acting like I did nothing and you're accusing me, and
The
that's
switch up was wild because then she goes, I don't want to be in the middle of this. And it's like,
you started
didn't you
it.
start the argument we're talking about?
I also will say I love Bronwyn. I love everything we've seen of her relationship, her family, her dynamic, everything so far. I didn't love the conversation that she had with Todd post Lisa fight. It felt very like dad getting on to like it was like he was scolding her. She wasn't like
She
it
was
wasn't a
looking down.
conversation. Yeah, it wasn't a conversation. It was just him being like, I'm not putting up with this. This has to end. Like, I'm done. She's like, okay.
It was the knight in shining asshole
But I will
situation.
I will give him credit in the sense that I am like, they just paid for a private jet, a $20,000 a night place, and you're coming here starting drama on our wedding
he
anniversary.
was somewhere else right before too. He flew here just to fly with you guys.
Yeah, she
so
had
I
to put
get
on
that
a
as well.
whole like costume to go pick him up at the airport. Now they're
He
acting a
also
mess.
said before he was like, I don't want anything to go down on this trip. If it does, they're leaving or I'm leaving.
Okay.
But like,
So he made the ground rules.
I
but
love
we're
it.
filming a TV
We're
show.
filming a TV show.
I love
And I
that's
think
one of
he-
my
No.
favorite parts
I think
of
he knows as
Housewives
well.
is when people are like, "We're not going to fight on this trip. If there's any fighting, you're leaving." It's incredible.
I think he's a good house husband because I think him
Yeah.
being like, she needs to leave or stop. And then
Mhm.
he went in front of the camera to talk to
John
to be like, you
that
need
was
to tell
so
her.
funny.
Do you think?
So
John
he's
was just
playing.
drinking his
Do you
Fresca.
think the husbands enjoy doing these scenes, or do you think they're begrudgingly doing it?
They used to film more scenes. Like they used to have a ton of scenes like almost every other episode of The
Mhm.
Husbands.
But even like this episode, like I feel like Todd, no, but like Seth loves.
Oh,
he
Seth?
loves.
he's
would love to
hyping
be
it.
an
The bathtub,
honorary.
the whole bathtub.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that Bronwyn and Todd thought, you know what? We're gonna do some jewelry shopping in front of our friends while we're on
Casual.
vacation, and we're gonna buy like a $5 million.
It was a flex.
That's
Mhm.
and they're like real rich. This is the type of housewife I want. I don't want Lisa Barlow like 18 different jobs and just hustling people and like, is she in debt or is she rich? I don't know. Like
I do want to know. yeah.
Bronwyn's rich. That's a real PJ they're flying. That's
Who do you think is richer, her or Heather Dubrow?
Mm.
Bronwyn. He's tech.
He's tech
He's
money.
a tech
Yeah.
daddy.
So true.
Old
so
tech
true.
money,
so
too.
true.
Oh
Mhm.
yes, the guy invented Palm Pilots. That's like
Yeah.
kind of the person who invented the
He's
iPhone in
the
back in the
Todd
day.
father.
Yeah.
Todd father.
The Todd father.
I will say Bronwyn is getting a little bit of flack after this episode of like,
Why?
and I don't think so. I love Bronwyn, but people are saying like she's being elitist and like 'cause
Thank
she had a
God.
lot
That's
of,
what the show is.
but she had a lot of sound bites of like, well, I'm buying your friendship now, or like like those different comments of like, you're gonna talk to me when I just paid for you to go on a private jet, and it's like valid maybe. Like, is she weighing the money above like someone confronting her?
I think
don't
she
know.
should make them feel poor. I think that these women need to feel poor once in a
Yes.
while in their
Yeah.
I
lives.
agree. I love
Humbled.
Bronwyn.
That's here's the
Humbled.
thing. Like they do need to be humbled. Be like, you're not all shit, Lisa Barlow.
And Bronwyn's like sweet, but she's also direct and whatnot. So I'm
Yeah.
like, it's also all of these qualities that some of the other women just
Yeah.
don't have, and you want to flaunt your wealth.
Yeah.
Well, look at Bronwyn buy a $1.5 million necklace.
I love it when a rich person like has to feel bad about not having as much money as they thought.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Also, like Bronwyn can still like have fun and take herself not too
Yeah.
seriously. Like
Yeah.
somewhere along the line, Lisa Barlow forgot what a joke was.
Right.
You know?
Did y'all understand Seth's comment of you judge a straight man by their wives?
No.
I watched it
No.
twice. I did
No.
watch it back because I was like, because then Todd goes, well, I'll double you back. Like the wives, something about their coverage.
Because they're like they outkicked their coverage,
Yeah.
and then Todd's like they outkicked their coverage. It's
Yeah.
like, of course he's saying that he's a billionaire.
Right.
Like,
I'll kick your coverage is like a very like common thing.
What does that
guys.
mean?
It's like we married someone who's
Like,
hotter than us.
out of your league.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's not
Essentially.
monetary.
That's
That's not
No,
the same.
no.
but the you
But it, like-
judge a straight man by their
That
wives.
was- I didn't
was a
understand that.
weird-
That
The
was
weird
weird.
part was because also Meredith was the one that started the rumors about Angie K's husband being gay. So it was like, are you saying that to like just make him feel more comfortable? But then it's like also spotlighting him
he's like,
indirectly.
and then he's like,
Yeah.
cheers.
Yeah, but Todd was quick
Yes.
to be like, guys, I actually am really
Yeah.
super rich, and you guys. Well, was it Lisa who wanted us to know that her husband's a CEO?
yeah, it was her
Mhm.
that made
It
it.
What
was
was
like
it?
he doesn't care about Justin, whatever. He's a CEO. Like we'll be fine going to this
It's like, what does that even mean?
trip because he's a CEO.
It's giving Danielle in last season of Summer
It
House, and
was.
she was like, I created
As
an
a
app, and it says a
CEO.
CEO. I don't care if she's crying.
Right?
What?
Yeah. It's like, I'm a CEO. I watch Housewives. Like, what? Like,
And I don't make people cry. How about that?
Mhm.
How do we think Heather? I mean, she wasn't in this episode at all, really. Besides the like,
FaceTime.
I missed Mary.
missed Mary too.
Thanks
Yeah.
for saying that.
Yeah. Why couldn't Mary come?
She's spending the weekend with her son, question mark?
Her son.
Her son lives in the bedroom.
Oh my god.
That was
her and Robert
She didn't try
Jr.
with the excuse. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
She said it as a question. She was like, I'm spending the weekend with
With
my
my
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally anywhere else, but be on that trip with you guys. Thank you.
I do want to know more about Mary's family though. Like
Yeah.
the dynamic now, because I feel like it's changed. We don't see like Robert Sr. on camera, but then
Yeah.
like the son lives there, but it just stays in the room. with
Robert
the
Jr.
wife.
being married, yeah, and then Mary not acknowledging
And they're
quite
young.
that they're married
Yeah.
is so interesting to me.
When they don't invite a housewife on a trip, like they didn't invite Heather, because like
Mhm.
Mary's just Mary.
Yeah.
Don't they usually like flash back to like Salt Lake and like, follow like whatever, like Heather, for example, like
I mean,
just
and
being bored?
You're right. So like in the next episode or two, it's bound maybe to have an episode of like Mary and Heather are going to lunch, or Heather going to lunch with someone else to be like, how do you feel about
With
with
Brittany,
Brittany? There you
yeah.
go.
I watched the after show and it was really
It's
interesting
good this
because
season.
Heather's obviously like, of course, like I miss my friends and I'm so glad that they called me because I wanted to know if they were thinking about me or just thought that it's okay if I'm not a part of the group. And then they go to Brittany and Brittany's like, I didn't even get a call.
Can I say something?
Aw.
I missed Brittany this episode.
Yeah.
I love that.
I really did. I just
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't getting enough of Brittany's like terrible life choices, and I really
us the
missed
drama.
that. Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like there's more to her life.
Yeah.
Like the kids and all of that. I want to know.
I need
like,
more of
what's-
her conducting her friends in a living room. Stop talking. Yeah.
Until right now, I didn't know she wasn't in the episode or on the trip.
Oh, I did. I felt halfway through the episode, I was like, "What is missing?" And I was like, "It's
I like
Brittany."
Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is nothing more like mean girl like than talking about a trip you should go on while also on a trip that you're on. When you had Bronwyn setting up this trip, she flies them out on a PJ, and then Lisa's sitting with Meredith and the husbands, and they're all like, "We should go on. Where should we
A
go on
different
our
trip.
on our trip?"
We should
Like
go to
that is the
Italy.
most mean girl bully shit. To
So
be
tacky.
on the trip and then talking about a trip where you're clearly not going to invite the other people on the trip to this trip.
I would have opened that door and been like, jump out.
Can we talk about Lisa's take on Italian food being too fresh?
Like, what does that even
Well, because
mean?
Lisa she doesn't cook.
Lisa
she just,
eats Wendy. She
just
is
learned
Wendy
how to
from
use a George
Wendy's.
Foreman last year.
Yeah, but she's like,
That's
it's just too fresh for me.
Yes, she made
Yeah.
bacon or something.
It's
on it, yeah.
insane.
She can make a microwaved hot dog.
I've actually heard from several people that the food in Italy isn't good. I've never been. I'm sure it is
pretty
absolutely
good.
amazing.
It's
But
good.
I
Well,
would
it's fresh.
several
trust.
people.
I like the pizza better here.
If you're talking about people who go to
Really?
Olive Garden for their Italian food,
Okay.
they will probably tell you that Italian food in Italy is
Okay,
not
maybe
good.
don't throw Olive Garden astray. Some people have layers.
I've never been.
Listen, Nick
Wrong
was
thing.
serving up breadsticks.
Yeah,
at
I
Olive
was.
Garden.
I know how the sausage is made at the Olive Garden.
We need to talk about this at length sometime.
I haven't been back since.
Oh,
I've never
Yeah.
been.
I do love it. It's family
Ooh.
meal.
He also
I
worked
don't.
at McDonald's,
Oh, you did?
My mom worked
See,
at
that's
McDonald's.
character developing.
Yeah,
but he got fired for eating all the chicken nuggets.
Oh, I didn't know this.
no,
That's real
that's
as
not
hell.
true. I did steal the chicken nuggets, but I quit.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
did
think-
it after you quit or
Well,
quit?
no, like every time I would like walk back to go to the bathroom, I'd just
Mhm.
like open up that chicken nugget drawer and pop in a couple.
Do you think they had like security camera footage of you like?
They didn't have cameras
No,
back in the
I don't
day.
know.
I want to see Lisa Barlow do one of those things where she like works at a Wendy's for a day.
She's got to eventually.
Yeah.
She's the queen of Wendy's sponsorships, if you haven't seen. So
Yeah, like imagine Lisa Barlow is taking your order at a Wendy's.
I did find out that Seth is the SVP of merchandising and extreme value sourcing at Big Lots.
That's his job.
Is
Yeah.
that Meredith's husband?
Meredith's husband,
Is
and
that
like
where he's always
Yeah.
on the go?
yeah, and we
Yeah.
could connect the dots and
That's
maybe
where he
think
had to
that
leave the trip for.
maybe that's why he left the trip
Mhm.
early is some Big Lots like liquidation.
Yeah, because it's not just Big Lots though. It's like multiple companies that he liquidates. His current contract just seems to be under Big Lots,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because like Meredith and Seth have been on the storyline before where it's like we're separated, like you're never there for me, you're always working. And then like Meredith at one point was like sleeping with other men, maybe. It was unclear. And then now she's saying, well, like it's feeling like Detroit again or whatever city she said.
Yeah.
But what's going on in Detroit?
She might have said a different city, but like
They separated.
yeah, they
after
separated.
Yeah.
They were having turmoil, so that's the whole thing when they come back together up in the first
Oh.
season. They kind of talk about their relationship repairing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is this them introducing like storyline for Meredith?
That's what I was thinking. That they might separate or divorce later on.
It seems like if they're trying to introduce a storyline for her, that seems like it would be your bat mitzvah versus
Well, the bat mitzvah is still
marriage.
happening.
yeah. But Meredith famously does not like people talking about her marriage.
Facts.
Yeah. So
Well, her husband's on the show talking about their
Yeah.
marriage.
I did think
Yeah,
it
I
was
know.
like Seth had to know that he had to leave before the trip happened, right? I feel like he just saved that little bit in peace for like the cameras once they got there and was like, okay, by the way,
It did seem a little bit of like a staged.
a stage.
It did feel this
argument.
episode did feel a little produced, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it though.
yeah.
I was entertained.
Is it because this like the husbands are playing along?
Well, we're not watching Salt Lake City for like a real, normal, relatable life. We're watching
True.
it for like the characters and like the scenes of like you need to
Yeah,
leave.
I feel like Salt Lake City is almost a parody of Housewives, and it's completely self-aware of like all of. That's what makes it so good, is that it's like so aware of every single housewife, like
Tropes.
tropes. Yeah, it's aware of all of the tropes, and it's just leaning in this perfect, like, funny way that is incredible.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I think reunion part 1 of OC was more entertaining than.
Oh, well, I'll never say that, but it was entertaining.
You'll never say that?
Nothing's ever more entertaining than Salt Lake City.
I agree.
Well, I mean, overall, sure,
I
but
think
like they
for a
have some
first
slower
part-
episodes.
For a first part reunion.
They definitely heard Nick on the Viall Files say they're going to save that for the third part. And they were like,
No, rearrange.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they did. Yeah.
I was confused though because I'm kind of like, what's going to be in the
rest
I
of
was
the-
curious. Like, what
Yeah.
are we going to talk about for
hit
the
all
rest
the
of the
talking
episode?
points.
It
Yeah.
was a good reunion, though, that part.
Well,
Because
Alexis
then we
hasn't
had like
come
the
out
Katie
yet.
of it all. Like,
Which
that was wild.
I
Yeah.
did not like
No, I didn't either.
whatsoever. Them coming after Katie for like wanting her to admit that at some point in her life she like wasn't the best version of herself and like had to
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
they were trying to paint her as like this bad mother and it's
They
like
wanted
why
to paint
would
her as a
you-
Karen.
They were equating the paparazzi rumor to like her past.
But even then, the giant contradiction of Heather bringing up this stuff where she's like, I don't like that people are digging up things on other people. It's like, even
Yeah.
if it's public knowledge, we haven't talked about it on the show.
Yeah, she's platforming.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know. I didn't know any of that
Wait,
Katie stuff.
no,
and
And
she
she was
Yeah.
like, they're
Yeah.
talking about it on a blog. A
You're
blog?
like it's everywhere. No, it's not.
Heather gets like updates to her email from this blog because I didn't hear about it at all. And I follow so many Bravo pages.
So that's Housewives 101, right?
Yeah.
You like
Exactly.
you talk about the rumor on the show and you bring the rumor from like the deep internet or the blogs onto the show and then you just kind of go after your castmates.
It just felt really gross that Emily is breaking down Katie's past and being like, "Why legal? Like,
Mhm.
why didn't you have legal custody of
'Cause
your kids?
you-
Well, like,
yeah.
why didn't you? Okay, I get physical custody, but
You
why
could tell-
you signed away your rights to your kids? It's like
Yeah.
obviously she
Mhm.
went through
And she
a
answered
bunch
them.
of shit and
Yeah.
like." She was homeless, she said, and she was not going to make her kids be homeless too. It's like, why are you making her say all of this and relive this at a reunion?
For me,
like,
it
what are we
was
doing?
it was giving that like Heather and Emily sat down and like
Yes.
read through the documents, dug
Yeah.
things up just so that they can weaponize it in case something
At
was
the
said.
reunion.
Yeah.
My issue with like these kinds of reunions is I feel like there's so much stuff that they're saving for the reunion that would be so much juicier and more fun if they would just say it on the show. Because on a reunion, it's like you say it, Andy's like, wow, anything else to say? They argue for a couple minutes and then it's like, okay, let's move on. And I'm like, no, I want to see this fester.
This
I
has
want to
been
see
2
this.
episodes.
I want to see this, like, I want to see it go down the gossip chain and become 10 different things and have a big blow up. I don't want it like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're saving it too much.
Yeah, but it felt like Katie really had no idea this was coming. And
No.
You could
Yeah.
tell how uncomfortable she was in the moment. We're like bringing up something from a decade ago.
Because we went from the
Yeah.
paparazzis to that. That's what we're saying. Like they thought it was gonna
Yeah.
eat
And
as
then
like the same thing.
Andy giving Heather and Emily the floor to tell their side of the story, which was kind of fucking.
Heather's like, I read all of the the police's. I read it. They spoke in the blogs. I read that. So
So the
like that's
police are
not
lying?
what they're saying.
So the police are lying?
Which I mean, her story. It didn't really make a lot of sense because when she explained it happened all on the interstate, she pulled off, he got behind the car, and then Heather's like, well, no.
It was
he
at his
said-
house.
It was at his house, and she's like, yeah, that is true. The neighbors, well, I didn't see any neighbors. And it's like, well, I thought we were on the interstate. So like, it's definitely confusing, but also who gives a shit? This was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, why are we bringing up something
Yeah.
like you just need?
because you don't accuse Heather of calling the paparazzi.
But it's like this
apparently.
like fake moral high ground that they have because then in the finale when Tamara's trying to expose Shannon for digging up stuff about Gina and then still puts it on the show anyways, it's like Emily's like, no, you need to tell Gina right now because this is so shitty for her to do. And then you both just sat there and just unleashed all of this private information about Katie that like wasn't warranted,
Yeah.
not necessary.
I definitely think Tamara got the hint from the audience that she has been too hard.
She's never
On
been this
Shannon.
quiet on a reunion.
Silent.
I forgot she was
Not
on
a
the
peep.
episode.
No, she's like,
And
I don't
isn't
want to
that
be
a beautiful
toxic.
thing?
Well, when she kept saying like, I'm sorry, I knew. Like and it was like she was not really apologizing, but trying to
Mhm.
sound like she was apologizing. So one foot forward.
I guess.
Maybe.
I guess. And I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Emily made a good point of being like, Gina was able to forgive you. Shannon, are you able to forgive Tamara? And while I wish Tamara would have been like, listen, I am just sorry. She couldn't say those words. So I don't really know what
Mhm.
Shannon is forgiving. her
What
for,
is
but-
more publicly embarrassing, being caught stalking your rival online or being caught promoting yourself with a Finsta?
Do you know
Okay.
any of this?
Break it down.
So basically, on one side, the first thing that Nick said, at an event that Katie wasn't invited to, but other housewives were, Emily is sitting at this like dinner table, her back to the camera, but on her phone you can see
her
like
back to a fan.
a fan.
Yeah.
But, like on Emily's
clear.
phone, if you zoom in, you can see that she's like stalking Katie's page.
Is she stalking Katie's page, or did Katie just post something and she's going through her?
She
For You
could have been
page
look-
on Instagram?
It could have been anything.
She was looking at her content.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Okay.
there's a chance that within the 5 seconds someone took a
Maybe
photo.
Does Emily-
maybe Katie called her and that she has, Katie's picture.
Does Emily
Flashes.
follow Katie on Instagram?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
She bet she does now. She's like quick follow.
It is in a
Yeah.
call profile though, so someone matched it up to something that Katie had posted. So she was looking at Katie's Instagram account, whether it was on her feed or whatever. Let's see if she's following.
I'm pro lurking.
Listen, she could be in a conversation with somebody and somebody was like, oh, like, so what's going on or what's happening? Da, da, da. And
Be
she's
like,
you have
let's
to see
pull
this
up-
girl that
Let's
maybe-
pull up
You
Katie's
definitely
page.
like stalk your rival.
She does not follow Katie.
Yeah. She
So
doesn't? Oh,
she
she
somehow went out of her way to see this post.
That's real as fuck. I
Hmm.
gotta respect the game
And I
as a
and,
lurker.
And the other thing
know?
is people are accusing Gina
This
of
one's funny, too.
commenting under her own post.
So basically, a blog posted a photo of like the OC woman. And from Gina's account, we'll leave it at that. From Gina's account, there was a comment left that said, "Love my gal Gina, best daughter, best mommy, best friend, heart, heart, heart,
from
heart."
her actual account.
From her actual
Yeah.
verified
She
Instagram
Maddie
account.
Pruitt. That's Maddie Pruitt.
And-
Is that the verb? Maddie Pruitt. She famously like did
After
that.
her date with Peter, she like commented on her page.
Like
and
you're
was
so
such
real.
a genuine and real date.
We love
or
your
something.
story.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Well, so
Anyway.
basically, her account commented this, and people were like, "Oh, she forgot to log out of her Finsta." So then she commented on the post, like kind of that we're calling this out, basically saying, "If you want the real scoop, I'll give it to you. My dad goes on my account and deletes mean comments when I make posts because he doesn't like the thought of me having to see hurtful things. He forgot to switch back to his account before writing that. I love him for writing this, although in reality, I don't give a fuck what any of you people have to
but
say."
what it doesn't explain is why does she have access to this fan account that she's logged into?
No.
No, it was her own account. She was commenting on a fan posted photo of the cast.
You have a point though. So she said she
No, but
was saying
she's
that her dad is
implying that
deleting comments.
Her,
That
when
her
she
dad has to
says,
sign in?
what was the last part?
He
about-
forgot to switch back to his account.
There you go.
So she was saying that he was logged into her account,
So
commenting
he's
on
logged
posts.
in to his account on her phone.
No,
No.
no. What is wrong with you?
I'm confused.
He
This is confusing
lost the
me.
plot.
Okay,
I lost the plot.
Explain
Okay,
this to me.
okay, okay.
It makes sense. It does
Natalie.
make sense.
It does make sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense. He
Mhm.
logs into
Gina's
her.
dad.
Correct.
Okay.
Allegedly.
On his phone. He has his phone and he logs into Gina's account on Instagram. and
Gina's
he-
dad
Gina's
Yes.
dad.
logs in
Yes.
to
and he
his
deletes
famous Real Housewife daughter's Instagram.
Yes,
Okay.
and he deletes negative comments so that his
Right.
daughter won't read them.
Ah,
He's
what a hero.
protecting his
Yes.
daughter.
Uh-huh.
Because she's lurking through the blog post,
Right, right,
essentially
right,
on her.
right, right,
Mhm.
right, right,
And
right,
so
right,
he's
right,
like,
right.
I don't want her to see that. I don't want her to see that. I am deleting
Mhm.
those. And then he's like, oh, a picture of Gina on this fan. Love my gal Gina. She's the best daughter and the best mommy. Post. Oh, frick. He forgot to switch out and get back into
But
his
where
account.
did the comment that came from the fan account come into the equation?
They commented
It was
on
a comment on a
fan
fan account post.
Her
Oh,
account
I-
commented on the fan post,
Gotcha.
but the fan
okay.
post wasn't talking about Gina. So it looks like she like forgot to switch out of a Finsta that she would have otherwise been hyping up herself as a
Ah,
Like-
I gotcha.
I think we should just acknowledge that
What was
housewives do
what
that
was
all the
caption?
time.
What was the caption? That her dad.
Love my. Well, now that I'm looking at it, it is a little
does.
suspect. Love my. it is just interesting.
How many emojis did dad use?
5.
It's
Okay.
red
many.
hearts. It's just
So
red.
many.
It's
Okay,
just red
maybe
hearts.
So many hearts.
Just hearts.
She said, well, her account said, "Love
He
my
could
gal
be-
Gina, best daughter, best mommy, best friend, heart, 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 heart."
I would have loved for Gina in that moment to be like, guys, we all do this shit.
They probably do.
I know.
I think it's funnier for her to say her dad did it.
The only part that is
like when
questionable.
they said,
That's
"Do you
so
want
funny.
the scoop?" and they make up a more unbelievable lie.
Yeah, that's the beauty of housewives.
The dad.
Maybe they don't always be honest. I want them to
The only part
lie
that's
and be
questionable
deluded.
is Gal, Gal.
feel like
My
that's
dad just wouldn't, and maybe we have different dads, but like Gal, I
Gal,
don't.
yeah.
But I
it's
feel like that's an
interesting
older
word.
term, though.
Is it?
I
Gal.
don't call like my best gal pals. Like that's such like an older
Gal pal
term.
means
Okay.
something different now.
And the first thing he comments is best daughter. Why would she say about herself on a group picture?
That's true.
I'm the best daughter,
She might lead with like best,
best mommy,
best friend, best daughter. That's true.
This was written by a dad.
This was
This
written
was
by a
written by a
dad.
dad.
Like,
That's
You really
true.
you believe Gina?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
believe
I'm
Gina.
believing Gina.
Absolutely
Okay.
believe
I'm
Gina.
believing Gina.
This was her dad.
Yeah, not a chance.
I'm just like, your dad never made this mistake before, you know?
There is zero chance her dad has access.
Wait,
That's what I'm like,
I have a
Instagram.
question. How many other posts is her dad commenting on? Like, is there like feedback of like, oh, her dad comments on a bunch of posts? Like, this is
Unclear.
kind of normal.
She does
Unclear
not
as of
have
now.
her dad logged into her Instagram
Not
just
anymore,
so he
at
can
least.
delete comments.
But also, like, she is right. Like, who gives a fuck? This is crazy that this is like people are like, oh my god, I can't believe she didn't log out. It's like
that is the whole purpose
Yeah.
of the housewives
Her
community
dad-
is to argue
Her
about.
dad does have an account. It's Summa777, so it does look like a fan account, and it's Gene and Susan Archer, her parents. So it's very likely.
Does he use
Zero
a lot of
chance.
emojis on his own account?
Zero chance he's got her username and password to delete comments.
Someone responded to her comment saying, "Your dad is your social media manager?" ?
Come on, guys.
listen, it's
It might be
probably-
the
Right,
dad.
that's
It's
the
a
thing
family
is like,
affair.
why would she give her dad her login? Like, I
Exactly.
would never,
Never.
ever.
Ever.
She's
But
a
as my
grown
mom
woman
logged in-
Exactly.
with kids. She's not like flirting in the DMs. She's
Yeah.
not sending nudie pictures. She doesn't want her dad to
Yeah.
see. It's
Oh my
like,
god, can you imagine? Yeah.
I wasn't even going
business.
there. I just mean, in what
He's
I
sloppy.
would give my mom my like login and be like, sure, if you want to like.
you would, because you have an amazing relationship with your mom and you're very close, and yet you haven't.
So she wouldn't.
Would you?
You know, like,
thing
you know.
is,
What about
I
if
guess
your
it's fine.
they're a
dad?
liability.
Would you not give your dad your account if he needed to go on there and fix something?
Sure, if I needed to, but the point is, I've never had to.
I just feel like
And
my best
But
friend is a
that's
better.
her, maybe that's her best. That's her
resource.
relationship with her dad.
That's
You guys
true.
don't
no, listen,
know.
guys,
That's true.
guys, of course, anything's possible.
People's
but there's-
families work for that.
Hey,
It's
Gina.
possible.
I
We
did
believe
think
you.
it was very sad that Emily had to explain what
Immunity.
immunity is to Jen.
And
And
then-
it just
That's
makes me feel like
crazy.
Ryan
It's-
truly does not tell her
It's not
anything.
sad anymore. No, it's on Jen. I'm sorry. You at some point you have to look in the mirror. I mean, it's terrifying. Honestly, Jen's a perfect example of just how easy it is for us to lie to ourselves and how
Yeah.
scary it is. Like after we lie to ourselves for so long, how committed to the lie we are that we'd rather just live the lie rather than face the fact that maybe we were wrong. Like
the details also were kind of like didn't really make sense. Like he didn't have a BOFA account, but he needed a BOFA account to pull the money out, and then he didn't really know where the millions came from, and it was like,
But what's scary after talking to Emily Baker last week, it's just like she's not married to this guy right now. And at this point, all she is just, a naive girlfriend who has got a bad boyfriend. The moment she says, I do, then
G-
she's at risk of like becoming a
Yeah.
criminal.
Gina
of
said it
going
really.
to jail.
Gina said it really well. You're putting yourself in the line of fire if you
Yeah.
marry this man.
But even with the
Literally.
with
Yeah.
her own comment too, where she was saying that like she was like taking the blame for Ryan being involved in this case, where it's like Ryan did what he did regardless. It may be more on a platform because you're on a show, but he didn't get busted or need to work with the FBI because you're on a television show.
Yeah.
She's not even
That was
willing
like
to
the-
consider he did
Any of it,
anything.
yeah.
That sounded like something he told her.
1,000%.
It's giving like Zach Bryan, Brianna LaPaglia, where he's like, well, this was your fault because you're on this TV show, so now eyes are on me. Like, if you hadn't been on this TV show, then we probably just would have.
And he's given her the everyone's out to get us. No one understands.
against the
Us
world.
against the world.
Yeah.
I think
Bravo
it's-
doesn't have your best interest
Ride
in
or
mind. Why would you
die.
believe any of them?
Bonnie
We're
and
Bonnie
Clyde.
and Clyde.
Yeah. Which
Take-
like
yeah.
that movie famously ended
It
with
was a good ending though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all died.
died.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's just like sad to see her like I think it's
I
just
need
sad to see a
more.
relationship where it's like you're so willing to like settle for someone that is doing these kinds of
She
things
made
for
a
the sake
big
of
bet.
love. It's just like it's I just wish a lot of people were able to have an environment around them that allowed them to value themselves
Nick
more.
has a point though. Like she kind of blew up her world for this man, so it's like not
Yeah.
even like settling. It's like, well, I mean, to a degree, it's settling, but like she's
She's got to see it work.
she's
you know?
blowing the world up for a man that might not be the right avenue.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's scary though. Is she made such a big bet, and like she to face the reality that she did what she did for this man is not something she's seemingly willing to face.
Yeah. I'm hoping that part 2 there's more of like the Ryan conversation, because like before the reunion she was like it's going to be a bloodbath, and I feel like we still don't have the bloodbath.
Well,
the
then
degree
didn't
that
she
I feel
try to
like
like?
she
Didn't she
hasn't-
try to offer like some bullshit explanation for like her
It-
even
It was
that
the
like,
BOFA.
Well, for what?
Even then, I want to
Bank
ask
of America
Emily
account.
about that as well, because I'm like, it's weird that he needed to use somebody else's bank account versus opening up his own if his business was legit.
Well, that's the part where I was like, maybe she doesn't know, or she's trying to be careful with speaking, or maybe we just haven't seen all of her explanation.
Well, I mean, the girls did make a point too, because they were Shannon trying to protect her so much was like, can she even be talking about this? Because like I know he has immunity, but does he have full immunity? And like, if she does say something,
I do wonder that actually. Every time that there's an active lawsuit, I'm
well, I mean, like Emily said to us last week, like
used in court, everything.
Well, but you can have immunity from, say, the federal government, but that doesn't include the state government.
Well, that's
and I don't know where the IRS is involved in this, but like they tend to want their money if you haven't properly paid them as well. So like you can have immunity with one court, but still be at risk of like all the other legal entities who might come after you for your alleged crimes.
And I do love when like housewives try to like throw shade, but then it doesn't land. So when Jen Pedranti randomly was like, well, your husband's family funds your life, and then it went nowhere.
Well, it ended.
Well, it ended, yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we might see more. But like,
it was left on a to be continued.
She was also waiting on that. She was like, I have that on my Rolodex.
It is funny when you can tell that they've like really rehearsed the line. Yeah, to like let
or they've just done their
reunion.
research for the reunion, and they're just like coming in prepared with things about each person that they can bring up if they need to.
And we're taking sharp turns to like things that don't matter.
I do respect like studiousness and prepping. You know,
we
and
do
that's
love
what I'll
someone
give.
who studies and who works hard and who makes good grades. We do love all of that.
Yeah, so
I do wonder how Alexis Bellino is gonna like fend.
Oh, I hope she gets eaten alive.
She gets to show up.
I hope she gets eaten alive.
What is she?
I hear it goes badly for her.
Good.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Well, I mean, she's going around saying that like producers called her to be like, and this is just like during the season, called her to be like, are you okay? Like, the world doesn't like you kind of vibe. So
sucks to suck.
I wonder if she's gonna come in and be like more victim-y, or if she's gonna come in and be like, guys, I was wrong.
No.
That sound crazy.
No. It's her and Johnny J against the world.
Yeah, she's still out there basically preaching the same.
But she's backtracking on a lot of it. That's where it's like,
kind
what
of.
avenue? Yeah.
What is she backtracking on?
Well, she's like, I regret ever bringing up the videos. Like, I never plan on like releasing those.
Okay, but you did.
Sure,
Well,
but
she
she's
didn't release them,
backtracking
but-
on like saying something
But
she
she
shouldn't have
brought it
said,
up.
but she's not backtracking on. She's like, I shouldn't release the videos, but we're still right and Shannon's still
And then
wrong.
she's also following Joel Kim Booster. So
Well, he's still
Okay.
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, true.
So is Mary.
What's wrong with following Joel Kim Booster?
I think I still follow him. Yeah, I don't.
You follow him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you seen Loot?
I'm not gonna
Very
unfollow him
funny.
just because he got a little petty.
What Mary and Nick are trying to say. No, I'm kidding.
No, literally.
What me and Joel are trying to say.
Y'all are anti-Shannon.
Could never.
I'm pro Joel.
I think Shannon also handled herself pretty well when
so
they
well. Yeah.
So well.
Like,
So far.
and Gina also backed her up, being like, "Look, that was in the past.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we've fixed that. So why do you care about
It's
it?"
insane to watch like Gina and Shannon just like interact with each other like normal human beings, and then for whatever reason, it's like
And it makes sense for our Gina interview where she was like, "I was not the closest to her, but by the end of the season, I was the closest to her." 'Cause
Yeah.
it was like,
well, it's
who-
like Gina is just coming in
Who's gonna
to
speak
Shannon
up?
with like basic human empathy,
Exactly.
which is like something that a lot of the other girls weren't doing.
They all definitely think they're better than Shannon for sure.
Yeah.
Shannon is kind of this adorable person who, can be a little messy sometimes, and they all make fun of her for it. Like, especially after meeting Shannon, she's like very endearing.
Oh, I
And
love
she's,
her.
Yeah.
She's a little kind of like, I don't know, loose. And with, I don't know how to say it, but like, you can see how like snobby, sophisticated housewives would like look down on Shannon for kind of being a little like, whatever, just kind of,
She's chill.
she's chill. Yeah. Not on top of her game, in a way.
She's not like overproduced.
She's not like conniving.
maybe is the way to
Yeah.
think of it.
Yeah, I mean, she's just kind of very herself and just maybe a little like, oh, I forgot to do that or whatever. And just like, oh, no biggie, And you could just see, it's just obvious. You can see how she will make it easier for people to make fun of her if they want to make fun of her. And it feels real mean because it's never like, it just seems the thing she does is like harmless or whatever, but it's like something a mean girl would make fun of.
Like
if
the
they could.
enema.
Yeah.
Well, they talked about it too.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was the most.
she's down to get dirty. To your point, she's talking about the enema at the reunion.
The enema was incredible. It's something that I will cherish seeing on my screen for a long time. I thought it was hilarious, and I'm really glad that Shannon brought that up on TV.
Well, clean your bowels, people.
Yeah.
It's good. It's healthy to have an enema.
Eat good.
Yeah. On that note, anyways, it's time to wrap up. Thank you guys for listening. We want to thank our guest, Ego, for joining our show. Be sure to check her out on SNL in the future. Also, we got Garrett and Taylor on for Going Deeper tomorrow. Be sure to check that out. Your healthy couple from Love is Blind. I think the first interesting healthy couple we've had on Love is Blind. You will want to get all the tea from them. Sit down with us as Natalie and I chat with them. And then on Thursday, we are back talking about a whole host of things. And we got Megan McCann, formerly from The View, who's going to pitch us her new reality TV show idea that she has. We don't talk politics, but we do the great uniter, reality TV. And Megan McCann is with us to talk about all things Bravo. So excited for that. All right. Well, until then, don't forget to send those questions at AskNick@theViallFiles.com for all things Ask Nick. Be sure to check out our Ask Nick episode that dropped on Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.